Hey, everybody. We are live. Welcome to Pop Culture Philosophers. I am Rockin Robbie Billups. Over there is Brooks the Magnificent. What's up, Brooks?
What's up?
What's up?
What's up?
Jelani's going to be here too, but he's a tad tardy right now.
He's a late boy.
So as we are waiting for Jelani to come in, we're going to go ahead and get started. This is what we're doing tonight. We're doing a live stream, obviously, and we're doing it all about the X-Men. We're calling this our Extreme. And that was Brooks's idea.
Yeah. I'll take credit for that.
But so we're going to be talking about X-Men. We're going to be talking about the new books, the Jonathan Hickman era, the Dawn of X stuff. We'll be talking about our favorite X-Men stories and comic book runs of the past. We'll be talking about our favorite characters. We'll be talking a little bit about the movies. We'll be talking a whole lot about the X-Men tonight. And we want you to join us and get the conversation going. And while we're waiting on Jelani, I'll go ahead and just throw some softballs Brooks's way. And please feel free in the comments tonight in the live chat to let us know your answers to the questions. So the first thing I want to ask you, Brooks, a very important question. Who is your favorite X-Men hero character?
Well, yeah. Let me think about that. It's Jean Grey. Jean Grey is actually my second favorite overall superhero, right after Thor. But yeah, that's like, if you'd asked me that like back when I first started reading X-Men, Jean Grey wouldn't have been in my top 10. But like over the years, I kind of developed more of an appreciation for the character. And then when I did, it's like she gets killed off by Grant Morrison and is gone for a while, but she's back now, and I'm happy about it. I wish she still had. I loved X-Men Red. I wish the X-Men Red team was still around. That was one thing that kind of I didn't like too much about the new Hickman thing, is that that book kind of got canceled, and she's kind of been relegated back to being a member of X-Force instead.
Yeah,
which seems like an odd fit for Jean Grey to be in X-Force, but I've been liking it so far, so can't complain.
Yeah, I've been liking it so far. I do want to know why Jean's back in her old Marvel Girl costume.
Yeah, I know. It's like I wish she'd go back to her X-Men Red costume, because the Marvel Girl costume is just so goofy.
And she even wore kind of wore like that X-Men Red one in that giant size X-Men one shot.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I'm like, are they gonna put her back in that one? But then she's back in the Marvel Girl one.
Yeah, I think that's just like Hickman maybe is like, no, I like that costume. That's what it makes no sense. It's not tactical. It doesn't make any sense.
And like she has no reason to wear the mask.
Mm-mm.
It's like everybody knows who she is,
and none of them do. Why does Wolverine wear a mask? Because it looks cool, right? So there's that. Yeah. I mean, that's why. I mean, I don't want Wolverine not to wear the mask. I still want the mask. It's still fun.
Psychological warfare, man.
Yeah. What's your favorite Jean Grey story? Your favorite Jean Grey moment in the comics, then?
Well, I do like the in the Grant Morrison run where she confronts Emma Frost about their affair, her like psychic affair with Scott.
Yes.
And then after the murder in the mansion, Beast is trying to put her back together, finds all the pieces, and then Jean telekinetically fuses Emma Frost back together. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, right.
Wow, you could do that? You just telekinetically fuse someone back together.
That was her powers were rising, and that was something so great about that Grant Morrison run, is that her powers just slowly start getting bigger and bigger and bigger, right? And that whole run is probably, in my opinion, the best Jean Grey stuff out there. Yeah. That's very good. That character is the best character in Grant Morrison's new X-Men, I would say. Like the best written character, the most growth, the best arc. I love it.
Oh, the part with the human too was one that I really liked, where they come up to the school and everybody's infected with nano sentinels too. Like Jean's infected with them and everything. So she's sick, and so these human come up and oh man, it's like it's protecting the school is a bunch of kids and some uppity redhead.
Yeah.
And then she makes them, they're wearing those suits because they can't.
She makes them shit themselves, doesn't she?
And she makes them shit themselves and vomit inside their suits.
Yeah. She goes, it goes up and down. Oh man. That's great stuff. My favorite X-Men character hero-wise would probably be Beast, right? But
Yeah.
I would have always said Beast. I would say like my top three were like Wolverine, Nightcrawler, and Beast, right?
Mhm.
And I love Beast, but when I think about what are my favorite comic book moments with Beast, like there's some great moments, but I can't think of many great stories that really focus on Beast.
Beast is usually in the background. He's like he's kind of more of the science guy.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, we need to get something checked out in the lab. Let's go see Beast.
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I do like in the Grant Morrison run, I like the one of my favorite Beast moments is when he finds out that there are nano sentinels that are giving them like the flu or something,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Oh my stars and fucking garters."
he
That's a great
gets
one.
he gets kind of a rough treatment in that run too. Like when Cassandra Nova makes beat the crap out of him with that baseball bat.
Yeah, man.
It's like,
Ah,
jeez.
and I really like some of the stuff from back in the X Factor days. I remember that. What's really weird is one of my favorite Beast stories is actually Factor X from Age of Apocalypse, and that's actually Dark Beast. But
Yeah.
I love the hell out of Dark Beast. That's crazy awesome. So, but I don't know. I would almost be tempted to say Xavier's kind of become one of my absolute favorite heroes, because I'm always just fascinated with Xavier. Like if Xavier's not in the book, I don't like it as much. So to me, Xavier being there is crucial. And I really like this new spin on Xavier and his mission and what's going on. It almost seems out of character, but there's so much more going on that we don't even realize, I think, right now in the Hickman X-Men universe. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something's going on. Like, there's a big reveal waiting, and all we can do is just sit and wait and look for clues.
Yeah.
It's like because something's not right, and the biggest clue so far they've kind of thrown is in the Mystique issue, where Mystique is like, you see her talking to Destiny, and Destiny's like, at some point in the future, something that seems like it's too good to be true is going to happen, and when that happens, like you'll know, and so that there's something going on there, and it is very weird. Everybody's acting kind of very strange in a way, like especially Xavier, because Xavier is very like he was always the guy who was trying to make peace, but now it's like he doesn't really care so much about that. Like he just he's like it's like he's fed up. He's like, we tried so many times to make peace with you humans, and all you ever did was throw it back in our faces. So now I'm fed up with it.
And there are people that would say that Xavier's acting a little bit out of character, but when you really think about it, there are plenty of moments in X-Men history, no matter who the creative team was, whether it's Morrison or even Claremont at times, there are moments where Xavier's just fed up, had enough. How many times do we do this whole the death of the dream story? Yeah. Xavier starts leaning more towards Magneto and vice versa,
like
Magneto and
the legacy virus and onslaught and all that.
I mean, we just read Fatal Attractions and covered it in Comics Revisited, and that's one of those runs, where like, and that's Scott Lobdell and Fabian Nicieza. And I just love that. It's interesting to me. And when we said that in the Fatal Attractions video, how interesting that was. So we told everybody, feel free as we discuss these X topics to throw in your favorites as well. First of all, we got SS12 said, do you think that the Rosenberg run will go down as the worst or the most forgotten X-Men run ever? Brooks, that's the run right before Hickman came in. The run where Cyclops and Wolverine kind of put together that ragtag group of mutants.
Yeah, I thought it was a decent run. There have definitely been more forgettable runs of X-Men, and I should know because I haven't missed an issue since like 2000. Like I've pretty much stuck with all the X books like through the ages. Now there are runs that are more forgettable, but the thing I like about the Hickman's run so far is that he's incorporating a lot of things from the 2000 on runs and bringing them back and making like the Children of the Vault, like the issue with the girl that's black and white negative, like who goes into the vault and like they have to send X-23 and Darwin after her.
Yeah,
that was from a pretty interesting run they did like in probably like the mid 2000s where Rogue was actually running an X-Men team, and it was actually composed of a lot of reformed villains. Like she had Later Mastermind, she had Sabretooth, she had Mystique, and then she
I
had like
remember that when it was going on.
Iceman and Cable, yeah. And the Children of the Vault were like a really, really big deal because they were like super powerful. I can't quite remember what their whole thing was, but I have been wanting to kind of revisit that run just because, he's brought that back.
Dude, that's
And
cool.
I'm interested to see what he's going to do with them.
That's cool because I can see the stuff that he's brought back from Morrison, from Claremont, from Lobdell, and Nicieza. I can see those, and even some stuff a little bit so far from this. I've like as far as forgettable X-Men runs, you're right. I think there are more forgettable. A lot of people do like that run because it brought back Wolverine and Cyclops.
Yeah.
And it brought back Wolverine in the brown costume.
And that was also it was during the Age of X-Men too, so
yeah,
a lot of the main X-Men were gone at that point.
Yeah, I would say Age of X-Man is more forgettable than the Rosenberg run. And there are runs that are forgettable for the X-Men that I think are absolutely underrated, like the Joe Kelly, Stephen Siegel run. You know how much I love that one. It's post Operation Zero Tolerance. And like all their technology's gone. They're back there, and it's an okay run. Hey, we got Jelani now. Hey, there he is.
What's up? Hey, guys.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm fine.
Did you shrink? Why are you so low on your screen?
Tiny. I don't know. Let's do it like that.
He's like, oh, I get it. He put up that X-Men poster. He put up that poster. He's wanting to show it off.
Yeah, man.
So what we've been doing right now is all we've talked about so far is you haven't read the Rosenberg run, so let's finish that off real quick. But that Joe Kelly, Stephen Siegel run's great. But I think there are more forgettable runs. The Mike Carey run's kind of forgettable. That may even like remember X-Men Legacy, all that stuff, Brooks. Like it's kind of boring, or whatever. But yeah. So we were talking about Jelani, our favorite X-Men hero, and Brooks, of course, says Jean Grey. I said Beast, but I'm leaning more towards Xavier now. Let's look at the chat. Green Man says Gambit. Lewis says Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler, hell yeah! Did you get a chance to read the Nightcrawler one shot? You haven't read this week's comics, have you yet?
Not yet. I'm getting there though. I'm getting there.
Jean Grey Power from S Squared. What's up, everybody? By the way, and Samuel's in the house. We got a lot of people in here. Kirby,
Kirby B. Hey guys. Thanks for patiently waiting on me too. Yeah,
no problem. We didn't wait too long, man. We just went.
I know that you just went.
I even told you.
Brooks. Yeah, no, it's okay. I get it now. I see what's going on. I see what the plan is.
It happens.
Nah, it's cool. I had to do something I had to do.
Jelani, who is your favorite X-Men hero?
Ooh. Okay, fine. It has been said. Mine's Wolverine. Schnickty schnicked.
Wow. That's a controversial choice.
Who knew?
That's a bold move, Brooks. Let's see if it pays off for him.
Every X-Men character has their own thing, but he's the only X-Men power that I want. I want a mutant healing factor, especially right now. That wouldn't be half bad. But yeah, man, he's like he has the, I don't give a crap attitude. He's basically a short guy. I'm short. And he's vicious. I'm vicious at times, only if you come at me. So I mean, I identify with Wolverine.
What's your favorite Wolverine moment and or story?
Fatal Attractions. When he
your favorite Wolverine moments when he gets
horribly attacked by Magneto. Yeah, it's by far. So what now?
Have you been reading X-Men Fantastic Four?
Yeah.
Did you read the newest issue yet?
I haven't read the newest one yet. I just had the issue 3.
Doom kind of makes a joke about that in it.
Yeah, really.
It's pretty good.
Oh well, I can't wait to read that book.
Doom's a past bringing up.
Yeah, he is. He does bring up the past. But Wolverine has got to be my favorite. I'm sorry, he does way too much. He does way too much in these X books, and he's on the cover of everything.
S Squared says Wolverine is number 2.
That sounds fair.
All right, now that we've done the hero round table, let's get to our first big major topic, and you're right there with us, homie. How would you rank the current Dawn of X titles from the least favorite to the most favorite? So what I kind of want to do is, first of all, I want to kind of go through each one and just chat about it. And maybe we'll have some minor spoilers in here, by the way, but we won't spoil like this week's books. which were awesome. But,
man.
Well, let's start with the big day. First of all, what was your initial impression of House of X Powers of 10, Jelani?
I'm blown away. Let's put it like this. I haven't purchased comics for real in months, but prior to House of X. House of X pretty much changed everything. It changed the game of how the X-Men books should go forward. I really think that making the X-Men like become their own nation, become self-sufficient, not worried about what humans think about what they're doing, actually working with villains to get a goal achieved. I think it's amazing. I think the way the X books now, they haven't been this good in years, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's basically my stance on it.
Brooks, what'd you think about Hoxpox when you first read it?
I've been liking it a lot because it's changing the game, but at the same time, it's bringing back a lot of stuff from the past. Taking things that have been forgotten and kind of like bringing them back into the X universe, like characters that have died, characters that felt wasted, can have a second chance now. And it's an interesting idea. It's not, I wouldn't say it's entirely original because they have done this before with Utopia and and even in like Wolverine and the X-Men is when they brought Krakoa back for a while and he was part of the grounds, but it's like a more massive scale. It's like it's kind of like they're trying to do Genosha on a larger scale, and they're trying to do it right this time. Make sure that there can't be any killer sentinel attacks that's going to wipe everybody out. Because when they first start out, like somebody, I think it was like Emma Frost said, like, seriously, you're going to try and bring all the mutants back together on an island again? Like, you remember what happened the last time? And she would know because she was like the only survivor of that.
Yeah.
And but yeah, I've really been liking it so far.
All right, what's your least favorite of the Dawn of X titles, Brooks?
Least favorite. It might be New Mutants right now.
Oh, okay.
Wow, really?
It's not that I don't like it because I do like New Mutants, but out of all of them, it's probably my least favorite.
Wow.
So far.
That's bold. Because that's Hickman.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not as familiar with a lot of the New Mutants characters either.
Okay.
Not as much. I mean,
well, it merges
I know
a lot.
And I have been reading that trade that I got of the early New Mutant stuff, and I've been enjoying that actually a lot. So, but like I said, I do still like it. It's a good book, but out of all of them, it's probably the one I have the least investment in.
What about you, Brooks? I mean, Jelani?
My least favorite of the X titles right now.
Hold on a second. We're getting bleed through of audio on Brooks's end. Do you hear that? Do you hear like an echo when I talk? Do you hear that? Or is it just me?
It's just you.
I'm not hearing it.
Okay.
I hear it. It's your echo.
You talk, Jelani.
I'm going to talk. Can you hear me talking? Do I have an echo?
I hear something. Now, Brooks, you talk.
Yeah, I'm talking.
Maybe it's, I don't know. Maybe I'm just tripping.
I hear the echo. I hear it there, man.
You've been dropping that LSD.
Yeah.
Jelani, what's your least favorite of the Dawn of X titles?
It is got to be hands down Fallen Angels. I thought I would enjoy it, but it's over now, so it's fine. 6-issue run. I liked the concept of Epoch and what they were trying to do with a techno drug and what the children were involved with. I liked the characters that they had, like Psylocke as Quanon, and you had Cable, and you had X-23, and they were just the three trying to get this together. But the problem was the big problem for me was the art. The art took me out of the story. It took me. There were parts where they were showing a character, and I didn't know who it was. A lot of times, like if it didn't look like Psylocke, I was like, "There's another woman in there," and I just didn't. Every issue, I was like, maybe it'll get better. Maybe the art will change a little bit, but the shadowing was too much. I don't know if they computer generated it. I don't know what it was, but it took me completely out of that story. I'm not a fan of it.
That was probably my least favorite too, has been Fallen Angels, but I'm excited to reread it and see if it works better, because Brian Hill's work sometimes works better for me when I read it in a big chunk.
Mm-hmm.
But I really liked it at first, and then I just started losing it, right? But the other one that I've not really liked has been Excalibur.
Yeah, I agree. That would be my second least favorite.
Yeah, but
yeah,
I keep reading it because it has Apocalypse in it, and it's not terrible, but it's just not terribly interesting to me either, except for the Apocalypse stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm really interested in that. Brooks, I think you like Excalibur a little bit better than us, right?
Yeah. It's just not one of the stronger books, but I do like the team, and I think it's been all right so far.
Yeah,
it's got Gambit in it.
See, I don't mind Gambit anymore, and
I like whiny though. He kept going, oh Rogue, I'll kill you, Apocalypse.
There's a reason that Gambit has that dislike of Apocalypse, because there was actually a story where Gambit became a horseman of Apocalypse.
Right, I remember.
He was death for a little while, and that's why he doesn't trust.
He has no trust. Yeah. I mean, I get it. I completely understand. It's just that the way the story is put together is not the best. I don't know what it is. I don't know why the magic realm bores me, but it bores me.
Yeah.
And it's just, I didn't know Jubilee had a baby. It's a lot of work. It's a lot.
Jubilee's had that baby for a while.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
See, I hadn't read X titles up. Like I said, I just started reading.
Yeah, it's not biological.
And it's a human baby. Yeah. That turns
but it's
into
kind of a dragon baby too.
Yeah.
I'm not really quite getting that, Brooks. Like the idea that Shogo becomes a dragon in Otherworld. Why?
Why? Makes sense when you talk.
And see,
comics, man.
I know, right? It makes sense why I don't like Excalibur as much. It's not as interesting or as captivating to me because I've never really been that interested in the Otherworld stuff from the previous Excalibur stuff back in the day. I always wanted to like Excalibur because I liked Alan Davis's artwork and I love Nightcrawler and Shadowcat. And then eventually Colossus popped into Excalibur, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was way later on. The Warren Ellis run's actually pretty good for Excalibur.
I never read that.
I have it all in trade. We'll have to.
You
can probably find those pretty much in dollar bins too. You can probably find those Excalibur issues pretty quick.
Yeah,
pretty easy. But it's early Warren Ellis, but it's still good. But yeah, I've never been that into the Captain Britain stuff. I mean, I like the Alan Moore Captain Britain story. I never really cared too much about Captain Britain or the characters associated. But
Nightcrawler and Kitty Pryde.
I'll tell you this though, Jelani, the second arc of Excalibur, Brooks, the one where they're doing the hunting of the werewolves, that story was really good.
Yeah, I like that one.
That story was really good, and everything Apocalypse is doing is awesome in that book.
Yeah,
like he's manipulating everything.
His name
he's creating a new form of mutant magic with a K, and I really like some of that stuff.
And he has some kind of connection to the other Krakoa, like the Krakoa's like I guess Mate Island.
Yes, the one that showed up.
Because apparently there's some kind of history between Apocalypse and that island from like way back when. Oh, and somebody's asked if I liked Bendis, the Young Jean Grey stuff. Yes, I like that a lot. Or actually, I was kind of sad to see Young Jean Grey go.
I was going to ask you guys, where did she go? I mean, is it like
she went back to the
past? They went back to the past.
Okay.
They mind wiped themselves, so they didn't remember it, and that's so stupid.
Yeah, it is. Well, they have to because there's way too much they knew.
They did that as part of before Hickman came on. They already knew Hickman was coming on. That's why they were able to release House of X and Powers of 10 so quickly and on time once a week, was because this was in the works for a while. So what they did was they spent like a year cleaning up the dangling threads, right? Yeah. It's kind of what they did when Grant Morrison came on to X-Men. They did it in like 4 issues that Scott Lobdell did, the Eve of Extinction. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember Eve of Extinction. Yeah.
But they actually took time to clean some things out. So they did that Rosenberg run, which we were talking about earlier, The Age of X-Men. And then there was a book called Extermination by Ed Brisson. And Pepe Larraz, I think, did the artwork. Who did? I think it was him. I can't remember. Extermination was awesome. And what happens is that's when Kid Cable comes back from the future and kills Old Man Cable.
Because he screwed up so bad.
Yeah, and then that led into that X-Force run by Ed Brisson, which that's one of the things that I kind of miss, is that run and that version of X-Force. I was really digging it. There was even a kid Strife in it. You remember that? Did you read that,
Yeah.
Brooks?
I've heard of it. I've seen pictures of that.
Brooks, did you read that X-Force run? It was like 10 issues before House of X stuff.
I don't believe I did.
Oh man, that's good stuff. It really is.
Yeah, I did run that. I did read that.
Because like there's a kid version of Strife. Not a kid,
but a clone kid, younger version. Yeah,
I liked Extermination. But in that one, that's where they send the young X-Men back.
Okay.
And everything had gone different. And so they mind wiped them. And so then like they had to go through this thing because like, Bobby realized he was gay, right? And now they have to make him forget that to go back in time. Didn't they do that, right?
But
like
they still like fix it. I mean, he's still gay now.
Yeah, but it's complicated. Who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, they put him back to it where there was so much potential there because you could have had Jean could have had to be the one to mind wipe them and go back in time, and maybe she always knew.
Yeah,
she always knew that she was going to die, right? And I don't know.
I like that. It was a chance to if you read a lot of early X-Men stuff, Jean Grey was your typical female character back then,
Yeah.
She's like Sue and Fantastic Four.
Yeah,
right?
Despite having like one of the like best powers, she barely used them for anything. And like she's kind of, she's very stuck in the damsel role a lot of times.
Right.
Until like, Claremont kind of, started making her more powerful and, bringing out her potential. But, young Jean Grey was kind of an opportunity to show us like how Jean Grey should have been back then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How the character could have been done if it hadn't been for, just the way things were back then. How female characters were supposed to be portrayed in comics back when X-Men first started.
We got some people kind of agreeing, like, some people like Fallen Angels, some people don't.
Yeah, it's not the best. Yeah,
I liked Fallen Angels. Because I've always been interested in the character of Quanon because she never got much back in the 90s. She came back as Revenge or whatever it was.
Revenge.
For a while. Yeah, she got the legacy virus and then she was gone. So she
right.
And I always thought, I wish they'd have done more with that character. Explored it a little more.
Yeah, splitting them though, I'm still confused about the splitting, but I really wanted to just see Psylocke again. And Quanon is the closest part of it since Betsy is Captain Britain now.
Yeah, and I like the Betsy stuff, and it's cool. And it's one of the reasons why I think they did it because they were like, we got a white woman taking over an Asian person's body, and like all of a sudden that was an issue, so they changed it. And I'm like, yo, this is just. You could just never mention that if that's a white woman in her whatever, and who cares, right? But that's what they did. But it's cool now because we do get Betsy, and she's more because there's also a lot of old school fans that like that version of Psylocke before the switchover happened, right? Then there's of us that read comics in the 90s that's our Psylocke.
That's Psylocke, right?
So what's really cool though, Jelani, is if you like Psylocke, you need to read Hellions because the new Hellions that came out this week was actually really freaking good. Me and Brooks both read it. We both loved it. It's in your box. It's in your box.
Psylocke's kind of the handler of this team.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, and it's actually really, really good.
All right. It's got Sinister that I'm in. I thought Marauders was going to be Sinister, but hey, the way Marauders
he makes a comment about that in there, like, oh, Kitty Pryde stole the Marauders name. I guess we can't call him that anymore.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, man.
So, Brooks, you were talking about how New Mutants wasn't one of your favorites. I like New Mutants. I
do too.
It's weird though because there are two different stories going on. Mm-hmm. There was Jonathan Hickman doing the story with the classic New Mutants, and then a few others, and them going off into the Shi'ar and all that stuff, right? And then there was Ed Brisson's story, who was using some of those characters left over from that haven't been touched on too much from
like Armor.
Well, you using Armor and Glob.
Those the new X-Men. Yeah,
but bringing back Beak and Angel, right?
Beak and Angel, yeah.
So it was weird how it was released because you kept going back and forth between the stories. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this, but I think Hickman is off the title now. I think it will just be I think it's just going to be Ed Brisson now. And I think it's just going to be focused in on this. I don't know that for sure though.
Okay, because they're on a different mission now. Like they're all back home, and they're all doing their
This
own
has
mission.
released, so that's the first full trade paperback of the Dawn of X stuff. Because they did Dawn of X trade paperbacks, which just have like the first trade paperback has all the issue 1s, the next one has all the issue 2s. That's kind of not the right way. But this only collects the Hickman issue, so it's 1 and 2, 5 and 7, right?
Okay.
It's $15.99. But there's your design. You're probably I would say that this is going to be the same design on all these X books for the trade paperback collections, but maybe I wonder if they're all going to have their own color. You know, like New Mutants is yellow and maybe something
yellow,
else.
yeah. But they're all black and yellow, and so or X-Men are black and yellow anyway, or red
blue and yellow,
blue and yellow.
Yeah, but I think it's cool. I like New Mutants, but it's definitely not one of my favorites. I think that the lower ones have been Fallen Angels, Excalibur, and New Mutants. I think those have been the weakest ones.
That'd be right. I would agree with that.
And I would say that the strongest ones are Marauders, X-Force, and X-Men. And it took X-Men a few issues to really kind of step back up.
Yeah, but the problem with X-Men that I see, and I would put X-Men right under right above New Mutants, because they're introduced.
You haven't read the last 2 issues. That's why.
Well, I've read the last issue. Not the last issue.
Did you read the first issue of the Brood story?
Yeah.
Wait till you read the new one, buddy.
Okay. Well, that's fine. All I'm saying is
Did you not like the Crucible issue?
Yeah, I love the Crucible.
Oh my God.
You're not listening to me.
X-Men has been kind of jumping from kind of like one-shot stories, up until this.
Yeah, it's been all one-shots. Exactly. It's been all one-shots. They're introducing. Hickman's doing a setup where he's setting it up for later things, which is fine. But I like to have like an ongoing story. You're gonna you can do the one shots, you can do the one-offs, that's okay, but I want you to get me a story. I want a little seeds.
Well, the stories are the pieces of the larger story,
right? And they are, and they're huge pieces.
Like eventually, it's all going to come together. Like the Children of the Vault thing, the thing with the Brood, all this, the Crucible, all this stuff is eventually going to come together and be one story. And like
now you realize I'm saying that's now you understand.
Well, that's Hickman's style. That's
still
what he does.
High though.
That's what he does in East of West. He does that. Brooks, you read East of West, right?
Yeah.
There were issues that they didn't return to an element for like 10 issues sometimes.
Yeah. Right.
That's how he did his Fantastic Four run. He would do these stories, but then he started doing these one-shots that just built up and all the Kree stuff that he was doing and the Inhuman stuff. So I think that the book it started off being weaker than I thought it would be.
It really did. And I'm okay with it, but it's better. It's better than New Mutants. It's way better than Excalibur, and it's like leaps and bounds over of Fallen Angels. So, I mean, I think it's in a good position because the other 2 books
dropped after Horticulture.
The latest.
That was a very bizarre issue.
That was
the X-Men versus the Golden Girls.
It was funny though when like they called Emma Frost a tart or whatever that was. That was great.
B-word.
That panel's like the single best panel in all of X-Men.
Like what they basically embarrassed Sebastian Shaw. I thought that was pretty good.
Yes. Sorry, it was out of character for X-Men. Like some Omega level mutants in there getting their butts whooped. Well, no, Cyclops. It was Cyclops, Sebastian Shaw, and Emma Frost. Well, Emma Frost is close to a Omega level mutant being shamed by old ladies. So I loved it. I loved that issue.
I think it's fun.
It was weird though.
Hickman has a sense of humor, and that comes across in a lot of his X-Men work, and in that issue in particular. But I really think that, and SS12 had asked, has it gotten better? I would say it's definitely gotten better.
Yeah,
like
it's better.
That Crucible issue,
sealed it.
It started getting It started getting better in the very next issue. The very next issue, wasn't that the one where they send Sync and X-23 and Darwin
into
the vault?
And then they had the Crucible issue, and now this Brood story, and the Brood story. Oh my goodness! I'm not going to spoil anything right now, but Brooks, you know what I'm talking about. The whole concept of what the King Egg is so interesting.
Because they get the King Egg from New Mutants.
Yes.
And they're like, they bring it back, and the king has to be the freaking
Rain just has it sitting on her table.
Yeah,
That's her
just chilling
space,
out with it.
her
And they're
space
like,
booty.
You find out
you know
exactly what that is
Do
in
you
the
know
new
what that
issue, and it's great, and it's
And
big.
what happens to it at the end is really
Yeah.
funny.
Dude, he's bringing in all this stuff, and don't forget the Phalanx are still out there.
They're still out there.
That's still going to be a big deal. The inception of Nimrod is still a thing, or the Orchid, it's all still a thing. Like this is, like Brooks said, he's just setting up the pieces to the board, and it's going to have a massive
bigger and bigger. The Crucible though sets, and I mentioned this before, the Crucible sets up the fact and actually solidifies the fact that the X-Men are now a cult. The X-Men have their own rules. They have their own society. They make more mutants. They're having nonstop orgies to make kids. I mean, it's a full blown cult with the council.
They're very cultish, man. They really are.
Culty, but it's what they kind of deserve. I think that this is the logical next step for the X-Men to go through. They need a world. They need their own country to do what they please to do. I think it should have happened a long time ago. And the way Hickman portrays it and told the story throughout those issues last year with House of X and Powers X. Oh God. Oh, it's brilliant, and I'm really glad that I'm reading this right now. I'm glad. What a time to be alive for a comic book.
Right? Absolutely.
Get in on X-Men. If you're not in X-Men right now, you need to get in right now.
For sure. And people do say that, there are too many, but you don't have to get them all. Now you will miss out on certain things. Like, the King Egg came from New Mutants. So if you aren't reading New Mutants, you're like, what's the King Egg? But you actually don't know what the King Egg is until the newest issue of X-Men. So it doesn't matter. They all definitely stand on their own, and that's why they're putting together these trades the way they are, because they work as their own.
You need to be in reading order. Yeah, you need a good reading order. And this is the best part about it. It gives you a reading order. You don't put these in, you don't read these. The first arc, I should say, of Dawn of X all reads together. It all pretty much follows everything. So
especially with the stuff in X-Force. Xavier's assassination.
Right. Spoiler alert.
Let's move on and talk about Marauders. I freaking love Marauders, man. What do y'all, Brooks, what do you think about that one?
Yeah, Marauders is definitely one of the best ones, I think, right now. It's a very interesting team and a very interesting, story. The mutant pirates with Kitty Pryde as the captain.
It's Kate,
and the intrigue with between the Hellfire Club, between Shaw and Emma Frost, and I think Emma Frost is trying to set Shaw up. I think like been thinking about it, and I think Emma Frost is setting Shaw up with this whole. I don't know if Kitty. I think she's kind of trying to make people think that Kitty Pryde is dead when she's really not.
Kate's in on it, isn't she? You're right.
She might be in on it.
Because I remember after I reread House of X, where they recruited Emma Frost, like, we need you to bring Sebastian Shaw back in. And she's like, I just got rid of him. Like she did not want Sebastian Shaw back.
Dude, you're right. You're right, because they wouldn't. Why they like Sebastian Shaw played his game super quick.
He did. He was like, I got to get rid of these people, even though everyone is pretty much immortal. Except for Kate, who can't get through the gates.
Brooks, you're 100% right. And the idea that Kate can't go through the gates, and the idea that Kate can't be resurrected, that's all part of this.
Yeah.
I think that's all set up.
It's all set up for something.
Everybody's thinking Kate's not a mutant. Everybody's thinking this and that, but no, it's all set up, isn't it?
Yeah.
It might be.
Something huge is going to come out of this. I can't wait, because, and the way it's set up, I'm in. Like, whatever story you're telling me, and plus it made me like Kate Pryde. I can't, like, I don't even like calling her Kitty anymore. I respect her so much. I respect it so much. I will call her Kate. It's because the story is told so well, and she makes a great leader. She's been the leader of the X-Men before. Yeah, she was the leader of the X-Men right before this. Right,
leader of the Guardians for a little while too.
Yeah,
the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And yeah, she was, and she dated Star-Lord.
She got a thing for dudes named Peter.
Yeah. So she does. And because in the Ultimate Universe, she was into Peter Parker. Remember?
Yep.
Yep, they dated.
Yeah, that's right. But it's amazing that Marauders got my attention like this. It's like all these Omega level mutants are helping out Kitty Pryde and make sure that she is safe during during this thing. And they're like, you guys can go through in and out the gates anytime. Why are you going on this boat with Kitty with Kate? And they're like, I mean, we want to be with her because we love her. And it's so, I don't know. I love the story.
The other thing too is it's the best team out of all these books. It's the best cast of characters.
It is.
Iceman's awesome. Storm, Bishop, Pyro. This has turned me into such a Pyro fan with the skull tattoo and everything, man. Like, I'm loving it so much. I hope that when he dies again and gets resurrected, he gets the skull tattoo.
Yes, like immediately. It's like, I need to get this done.
I love it, man.
Yeah, they're pirates. They don't care. It shows, but they're also doing doing good work. They are the best team. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, because they're saving the refugees. Plus, you got the political intrigue of all the Hellfire Club stuff going on and the black markets. And then you got, obviously now, as Brooks pointed out, Emma and Kate totally setting up Sebastian.
Yeah.
I would even be. Him? You think Shinobi's in on it too?
Shinobi could be.
I don't know. Surprised because his relationship with his father has always been kind of weird. And, he did kill him once.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be surprised.
SS12 says Marauders has done for Pyro for me what Amazing Spider-Man has done for Boomerang.
Yeah,
I agree. Because Boomerang's the best character in Spider-Man right now.
Really?
He's such a goofy. He's just this goofy.
And he's
idiot.
Peter's roommate right now, dude.
Boomerang. Did they know that they're Spider-Man or Spider-Man and Boomerang?
Peter knows that's Boomerang, but he doesn't know that Peter's Spider-Man.
Okay.
But half of New York knows that Peter's Spider-Man, so
yeah, that makes sense.
It seems, right?
Yeah, that one more day thing was really worth it, right?
Yeah. Let's find out who he is.
Yeah, we love Marauders here. So let's talk about what I think is probably has been consistently the strongest one, X-Force.
Still.
I think X-Men is better than X-Force right now because X-Force has kind of narrowed its scope a little bit in the last few issues. And I'm not the hugest fan of Domino, right? But I like what they're doing. I like what they're doing with Domino. I like the book. I like the book a lot. And I love what X-Force is doing with Forge every time we see Forge. Because, Forge is just one of the best X-Men ever.
He is.
He
makes everything, man.
Yeah, I love X-Force. It started, the artwork is so good.
Yeah, it is.
Kasara, I think, when he's on that book, oh my goodness.
It's consistently gorgeous.
Benjamin Percy's doing a great job with that story.
He's the MVP. I thought Hickman was going to take all over it, but I really think Benjamin Percy is like one of the finest writers.
And he's writing Wolverine right now, which is off to a very strong start.
It is. It really is. And I'm really glad that X-Force, I didn't like the X-Force with Cable and all that stuff because it's association with Rob Liefeld. But this title, this X-Force book, it has, to me, one of the best teams. I like the way that they are the CIA of the X-Men. Hey, Logan.
What's up, Logan?
But it's one of those titles where you're intrigued and you want to be I want to know what the Xeno group is. I want to know why there's so many humans that are against mutant kind. Actually forming up. They would be.
And that's what Hickman's building up to.
Yeah, I love how that they're the antagonists now. I love how the human race is now, scared of mutants again to the point where they're making organizations to take them out now. And it's so beautiful. I can't wait to see how this plays out.
Yeah, I love it. And when all these books started and X-Men we thought was going to be the flagship, and they were just kind of doing these one and done stories with the Golden Girls and whatnot, and the Summers Family Cookout, when they were doing all that stuff, and it was like, that's weird. But X-Force was delivering the same thrills that House of X did. You had Xavier assassinated. You have a great cast of teams because you got Wolverine, you got Jean Grey, you got Beast
Kid
in there.
Omega.
But it's really, and Kid Omega, oh my goodness. But it's really focusing in on some really interesting ideas about Black Tom and Sage. And I really I've always been a Black Tom guy for some fucking reason.
Yeah.
One of my first X-Men books I ever read was one where Black Tom and Juggernaut take over the Cassidy family castle or something like that. And it's amazing. It's Claremont and Cockrum, and it's just fantastic. And it's actually the first issue. I think it's one. I don't remember the exact issue number, but on the cover there's the castle, and you see Juggernaut and Black Tom. You all can look at. Who cares? But it's the very first issue in which Wolverine is mentioned as his name being Logan, and it's a bunch of leprechauns that show up and call him Logan. He's like, "How do you know my name?" So we didn't know shit about Wolverine anyway. So I like the usage of the characters. Quentin Quire.
Quentin Quire is clean.
He hates brutal.
He hates humans. It's a brutal book,
and it is
People
brutal
die.
because when they get cut in half when they go through that portal, and Wolverine still just goes after that dude.
And I still have no idea how Wolverine is leaping around with no legs.
Yeah.
Well, he's like probably like that kind of thing.
You're gonna have some pretty good upper body strength.
It's Wolverine, dog.
Yeah.
He retracts his claws and he puts his fists on the ground, then he pops his claws and he just pops up. It's like a Ram Man action figure type thing.
Yeah.
Brooks, what are you thinking about X-Force, man? You think it's one of the strongest?
Oh yeah, definitely. X-Force has been good, and it's got Jean on the team, so of course I'm gonna prefer that one. And I like how the Jean and Beast had kind of a moment there where she had to do something that she didn't really want to, but Beast had to be like, you did the right thing, Jean. She's like, don't condescend to me, Hank.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Lewis, we're talking about X-Force right now, and in general, we're going to be talking about X-Men all night long.
Yep.
Night long, all night. Right now, you can get it if your comic shops are still open. You can hopefully get them there. A lot of them are closing down, doing curbside only. Some shops are still doing shipping. If you have trouble finding any of the new comics, for instance, you can always email thedeepcomics@yahoo.com, where I work, and we will hook you up. Straight up, we've been hooking people up with comic books. Two Gun Pedro's in here. I got to get a pew pew for everybody. Come on, finger guns, y'all. Come on, Brooks. You're not too cool for finger guns.
Pew pew pew.
Brooks hates doing things that people tell him.
Are we playing Cuphead now?
What?
Are we playing Cuphead now?
Got that insanely nuts game? No.
Yep. The X-Force is where people are getting cut in half.
Yes. People is dying.
If people getting cut in half is your thing, X-Force is the book for you.
Yep.
If you, look at the puppy.
Yeah. She's kind of jingled in here.
Hell yeah.
Hey, puppy. I see you.
We can't remember the puppy's name right now. So we just keep going, hey, puppy.
That's Juju.
Juju.
What up, Juju?
Juju. All right. So we talked about the ones we thought were the worst and the ones we thought were the best. Overall, I think X-Force has been the best, but X-Men's kind of stepping up on me right now.
I gotta read this Brood one now.
I think X-Men's probably the best right now.
Wow. All right, I'm getting there.
What would you say, Jelani? X-Force?
I'm still saying X-Force. I'm going to be X-Force until I read this next Brood episode issue. I'll see.
X-Men Fantastic Four counted in this?
Yes, let's go ahead and talk about that because
we'll talk about that.
I love that one. That one's really solid.
It's good. There's like, I haven't read 3 yet, but the 2 I've read are fantastic. The fact you introduced Doom in it, I'm like, yeah. I like how the Fantastic Four are really at odds. They're really against the X-Men in all their forms. And and they're even Sue's like, they're not even heroes anymore. And I'm like, you're kind of right. In a lot of ways, they're serving themselves. And the only thing I don't get out of it is how Kate is still alive and walking through the gates and all the other things at Krakoa.
Is she walking through gates in that one?
She was walking through gates in Krakoa in the first issue.
No one lets Zdarsky know that.
And I'm like,
because I get that she's still alive because she hasn't fully embraced the pirate Kate side of her. So I still think that this is like early in the Marauders run. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She doesn't have a whole face tattooed to her hands.
The crazy thing is that this series is a better Fantastic Four book than it has been an X-Men book. The X-Men stuff is interesting, and I like the situation it puts Franklin in with the Fantastic Four. But Brooks, I've been saying this forever. I want Chip Zdarsky writing Fantastic Four. Dan Slott's doing an okay job, but Chip Zdarsky's writing the hell out of Fantastic Four. You read the Marvel 2-in-1 that he did, right? Before FF came back?
That the Johnny Storm thing one?
Yes.
No, I never did read that.
Oh, man, you got to read that. That shit is so good. It's by Chip Zdarsky as well. He's also writing Daredevil right now, and it's absolutely amazing. It's amazing. But I love the book. What are you thinking about it, Brooks?
Well, it's like, it's two of my favorite Marvel properties in one. And, I've always liked that there's been that connection between them with Franklin being a mutant. And, because
Valeria isn't.
And he's torn between his potential family with the mutants of Krakoa and, his family with the Fantastic Four. And he's got this hanging over his head, the losing his powers, like he's got a very limited amount of power left in him. And so he's kind of reaching out to Doom just so he can get that power back, because he feels like he's not whole without it. He's a teenager, so he feels like he's got a lot to prove, I think.
A dyed hair emo teenager.
Right.
Still cooler
than blonde hair.
Still almost as cool as Psylord. Remember when he was a teenager before in the 90s?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Psylord.
They pulled the cable.
Like, I hope he doesn't go with the mutants, just because I don't want him and Valeria getting separated.
Valeria.
Yeah.
Is it Valeria?
It is straight from Chris Claremont. He was the one that let me know how to pronounce that correctly.
Valeria.
That's Doom's mother's name.
Valeria Richards.
Yeah, Doom is actually well played and well used in this. And Doom, the Fantastic, all the characters are doing exactly in the newest issue, and you haven't read this yet, Jelani, but in issue 3, there's a moment. You were talking about the Doom and Wolverine moment where he's like throwing shade on Wolverine, right? Or he's actually throwing shade on Wolverine and Magneto. But when he has that discussion with Xavier, oh my goodness, nobody's talked to Xavier like that, and since all this has happened, it's Doom. And he's got Doom Sentinels now.
The Doom Sentinels.
Oh, that's clean. Oh,
of course he does.
I saw that. I'm like, nice.
Doombot Sentinels.
Nice Doom.
Wow.
Yeah, I love that. Before we get into talking about Wave 2, though, let's do villain talk. Who's your favorite X-Men villain? I'll go first because obviously it's my main man Insaba Noor over there. Y'all know that. I'm a huge Apocalypse fan. That's why I can't stop reading Excalibur, even though I don't quite like it fully. Apocalypse is just my favorite. The only problem is there's not a lot of great Apocalypse stories because he's always just kind of a factor in the midst, in the background. Right. If I had to pick one badass Apocalypse story, I mean, it's Age of Apocalypse, but that doesn't even really focus on him too much. Yeah. Rise of Apocalypse is cool because you get into the character, but every time he shows up, like he was not a factor in Onslaught. But every time he showed up in Onslaught, those are some of my favorite moments. And when he's just chatting with the Watcher.
Hanging out with the Watcher on the moon.
Yeah, man, I love that shit. So that's my favorite. And if I had to pick a book, I mean, it's Age of Apocalypse just because he wins. And it shows you how badass he can be. And like, of course, the 12 was a big letdown. A big, it was like a turd in the wind.
That was supposed to be Cable's and Gambit's moment to shine, wasn't it?
Yeah, it didn't work.
Yeah.
Oh, and Franklin was supposed to be one of the 12. Remember?
Supposed to be one of the 12 and everything.
It wasn't. It was all X-Man, and it was just all forced and rushed. And I didn't like it. Yeah. Jelani, who's your favorite X-Men villain? And y'all, let us know. Who's your favorite X-Men villain? Let us know.
Of course, man, it's Magneto, Master of Magnetism. He has the most beef. I love. I appreciated him more, kind of like I appreciate Tony Stark more as I've seen him in movie form. I love Michael Fassbender as Magneto, as the character. I love Ian McKellen playing him as the older Magneto in X-Men. Those two portrayals, and to figure out, his background. He's, he was in an internment camp and found out his powers, and in the comic how he meets Xavier, and how they both realize that they're mutants at the same time. Yeah, it is such. I love their dynamic between Xavier and Magneto. I mean, I put Xavier at one of the top as well. Wolverine still beats him, but just the dynamic of the dichotomy of of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King.
Yeah.
And how they compare and contrast each other, and how now in the Dawn of X they're working together. And not only are they working together, they're actually on the same page, to the point where Magneto is not even having evil intentions to go forward with his stories. And so I love, man, Magneto is so clean.
Yeah.
And he's the best now. They treat him like a rock star in Krakoa. And I love that too. I don't know what it is.
Because he is.
He is a rock star.
And you mentioned Fassbender, and dude,
Yeah.
I love Magneto in every single one of those X-Men movies.
Yeah, man.
Whether it's McKellen or Fassbender, but First Class, that's
Class
the best
clean.
Magneto movie. That shit is so good, man.
Yeah, he's a secret agent. He's doing his thing.
That was Fassbender trying out for Bond as well in that movie, I think.
Yeah.
But Daniel Craig just won't let it go for some reason.
Ching ching.
He's got one more though, right?
Ching,
One more.
ching.
Brooks, who's your favorite X-Men villain? Oh, real quick though, Jelani, what's your favorite Magneto moment and/or story?
Fatal Attractions.
Me too. I mean, that's just
sorry. He rips the adamantium out of Wolverine's body.
That's Magneto not giving any shit, man.
He doesn't care. Yeah. And it's like one of the things where he's just loosed. He wants his world, and he wants to keep it that way. And these people are stopping him. Oh God. Oh, Fatal Attractions, man. Fatal Attractions.
Brooks' favorite X-Men villain.
I'm with you on Apocalypse, but a villain I've actually started to warm up to from like kind of revisiting some old 90s stuff is Exodus. Because Exodus was actually a pretty fascinating
90s Exodus.
Because like especially in the Blood Ties story, like where he's basically kicking the Avengers' asses.
Yeah.
And Exodus is like he was basically kind of a lackey of Magneto, but after Magneto was gone, pretty much. So like he basically was speaking for Magneto while Magneto was comatose for a long time, but he actually believes his own hype. He believes that Magneto spoke to him even when he was comatose and everything. And he's his powers, like how powerful his Exodus is, kind of you don't really know. You just know he's like you don't want to mess with him,
right?
And he's
an Omega level.
He's an Omega level. He's an Omega level. That's right.
One of my favorite things about this new Hellions book is the shade that Sinister and Exodus keep throwing at each other. You know what I'm talking about, Brooks?
Yeah, don't talk to me.
And then they have the problem about, oh, your shit's too high, so I gotta like blossom mine out. Hell yeah, those are some great villains.
Let's
see what the chat says. Brett says Apocalypse is such a great character. He needs the Donny Cates treatment, though, huh? As long as they don't rockstar him too much, right?
Yeah.
Zen Soundwave, love that name.
I'd like to see Apocalypse fight Thor again, like modern Apocalypse versus Thor.
Oh, dude, that Uncanny Avengers that Rick Remender did, that was a good one. That's a great Apocalypse.
I'd like to see current Apocalypse and current Thor, duke it out.
Yeah.
Logan says Sinister. I've never been a Mr. Sinister fan until recently. I love the hell out of Mr. Sinister right now.
Yeah, he's the best he's ever been right now.
He also says Juggernaut, and Brett co-signs that. I like Juggernaut, and I like Juggernaut with Black Tom.
Yeah, they need to be together.
A lot. All right, let's get into the second wave of X books then. So, not all of them have come out, and of course now with the Diamond delay, and we don't know what the future is going to hold for digital releases or if they're just going to postpone everything. We know Dark Horse announced today that they are not going to do digital comics the print ones are not out yet. So while there are going to be no more, Jillian, you knew this is the last new comic book day this week.
Right. This is it.
Yeah. For a while. And we all got it. I hope everybody, by the way, this is why we're doing more and more live streams. We wanted to do this in studio together. We were planning on doing this in studio together. I wanted you guys to open up all these X-Force figures with me. So I'm only going to open up a few of them tonight, and then we're going to save some when this is all over. But we hope you're all staying safe and being careful out there. And we really want to thank everybody who, you're a grocery store worker, a gas station worker, you're a firefighter, if you're one of those essential employees, nurses, doctors, like y'all are going through a lot right now. We as the people are going through a lot. And
thank you for what you're doing.
we are practicing our social distancing here. And these are crazy times, man.
They really are.
It's like the world changed overnight, like Xavier promised, right?
Yep.
While you were sleeping, the world changed.
The world changed.
So let's talk. So what we have out right now is Hellions. And Brooks, we can talk about this real quick in a non-spoiler way. Jelani hasn't read Hellions yet. Hellions was awesome, man.
Yeah.
What's the team?
It's a lot of problem mutants, really, like mutants that
they're Hellions.
Abuse their powers or are not as completely in control of their powers, but it's like they don't want to, just saber tooth them and, put them in the exile zone.
Right.
So they're trying out, basically giving them a chance to, try and, I guess, harness that kind of energy they have.
For some reason, they think it's a good idea to let Sinister have his own team.
It's kind of like a mutant Thunderbolts in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. It's you remember the movie Problem Child?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you do with that kid? Well, just give it to Sinister. Sinister will take care of it. And he kind of puts Psylocke in charge. And here's the funny thing. So it's like, it's Wild Child and it's Orphan and Nanny Maker. These are characters I don't care about.
Orphan and Nanny Maker?
Yeah.
You mean Orphan Maker and Nanny?
Oh, yeah. Is that what I said? Yeah, see, that's why how much I don't care about them. Right?
How can you not care about these important characters, dude?
Then there's that dude. He's a part of the original Marauders. I don't even remember his name. Scalp Hunter. You're right. And then there's Empath.
Okay. Wow, what a generic name. Empath?
Yeah, but seriously, the book is good. And Havoc is one of these problem children.
Yeah.
As well.
Havoc.
He has like a freak out.
Alex Summers.
And almost kill somebody.
Okay.
Well, not too long ago, during the Red Onslaught, and that's when Red Skull had taken Xavier's
that
brain.
Story.
Yeah, and they made Havoc a bad guy, and he just recently got over that, but he still is apparently dealing with some after effects of that.
Okay. Well, I love him in Mutant X. I love Mutant X.
Mutant X is a great book.
I love that book. I've got that whole run.
Me too.
Yeah,
every single issue. I got Tom Rainey to sign the first issue of it for me last summer.
Nice.
In North Carolina. It was really special.
Very nice.
Now I got to meet Howard Mackey. That book was great. That book was
man.
Cool. But yeah, Hellions, that's got mine and Brooks' stamp of approval. The other new one that we've seen so far has been Cable.
Okay.
Cable is way more of a. You haven't read it, Cable yet?
No. Well, you were supposed to give me all the X titles, man.
They're in your box, dude.
Not Cable 1.
Did you sign up
Cable
for it?
1? No.
Well, Cable didn't have X in the title. If it was called X Cable, then I'll get you a Cable 1.
It's okay.
I'll get you a Cable 1. We got plenty.
All right.
We got plenty.
I've got this bad taste in my mouth from Fallen Angels. I don't know. I'm kidding.
Cable was way more fun than I thought it would be. Brooks, what do you think of Cable?
I liked Cable, and I'm interested to see what it turns out for that ending kind of cliffhanger. Yeah. Like I'm wondering if that's not what it appears to be. I don't want to spoil it, obviously.
Yeah, and they're also setting up Ten of Swords with it, because we get a glimpse of one of the swords. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's coming up too, and so there you go. And then there's Wolverine, and Wolverine's been really solid.
Wolverine is so good.
2 issues in.
2 stories. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, there were 2 stories in issue 1.
2 stories in issue 1, and there's another one out.
Issue 2 brings back in the first story arc with the drug that they're making from the Krakoan flowers. And Adam Kuber's artwork is so good still, is it not, Brooks?
Yeah.
I'm getting there.
That's all I get from Brooks is
yeah, it's all right.
There's no Andy, but
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Yeah, Andy's still over at DC a little bit, isn't he?
Andy's doing his life. Yeah. He's still living his life.
Yeah. You liking that Wolverine though, man?
I haven't read the second issue yet, but I like the first one a lot.
I love the Dracula Omega Red shit, man. That's cool.
You can't trust him.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Dracula's like, yeah, I'm going to do this now with you. You're going to help me destroy these mutants. I know it's happening. I know. I love Dracula. I love how Dracula is in the Marvel universe and just existing. Yeah. I don't know. I love that. I love how that character's run in the Marvel universe. It's done really well. All we need now is Werewolf by Night again.
They're bringing that back. You're not seeing the ads for it?
Really?
Yeah, it's a
Teenager by day,
werewolf by night. Like,
yeah, man.
That's funny that you say werewolf by night, because we're gonna in our show and tell segment at the end of the show, we're gonna be I'll show you something I got today about werewolf by night. Anyway, let's look at some comments. They don't want to saber-tooth them. They really like the way you said that. I do too. Logan says, y'all be safe out there. Zen Soundwave says, why not distribute the comics digitally still? Is it because the local comic shops and physical retailers would take a hit? Yeah, that's why. And what do you do? Like, if Diamond's closed down for, let's just say 1 month, and that's a conservative estimate, right? Say 1 month. It's 4 weeks of new comics. Let's say they release them digitally. So now they're already out, right? People can read them. Now, obviously, people will still buy physical copies when the comic shops are able to get their product back in, right? But then what? Do they send comic shops that are struggling financially after being closed for a month 4 weeks of comics all at once?
Right.
You know, that's so I think it would be best just to hold everything for right now. We're living in unprecedented times. But I mean, I would, there's the fan inside of me wants digital. I would read it. I just want to read my comics. I want to, you know, there's like, knowing that this was the last week, like we got to the end of X-Men Fantastic Four #3, right, Brooks? And you're like, damn, who knows when issue 4 is coming out?
Right.
So, but there you go. Southern Comic Geek says, I hope they are bringing back old Cable. Well, one day they will, because even if they just keep Kid Cable, he'll grow old one day, right?
Yeah.
In comic book time, it will take like 130 years. I think that they will one day, because everything reverts back to its original form. And the original form of Cable may have been a Babel, but the original form of Cable proper was that Rob Liefeld Cable, and it will always go back to that.
Yeah. Like, oh, I aged so fast because I went through a time bubble.
Yeah, right.
Now, cool. Yeah.
Talking about Wolverine, Wolf Warner. What's up, Wolf? Says, seems like the pale girl has mind control.
Yep.
Yeah.
She forced Wolverine to kill the group.
Yeah, and that's it's a common idea people do with their Wolverine books. Oh, what if we made Wolverine think that he killed the X-Men? Like, okay, but they've done that.
Yeah.
And even before Old Man Logan, they had done that. But still cool stuff.
Yeah.
Best Cable was when Zach Thompson and Lonnie Nadler took over for a bit. I never read that stuff. It was right after the James Robinson stuff. I really liked the Joe Casey run on Cable. I thought that was really cool. And then the Igor Quarterly stuff that led into Soldier X, I really liked that. Y'all remember that shit, man.
I've seen it. I haven't read it.
The Joe Casey run with Jose Ladrone doing the artwork was fantastic. Very Kirby looking, very Kirby-esque. I by the way, own every issue of Cable Volume 1. It was gifted to me by my good buddy Lance from Dance Panda Comics.
Nice.
He's like, yeah, I can't sell these. Nobody wants these. You want them? I'm like, I want them.
Because it's Cable, man.
I was like, I just want them because
I want to get associated with Rob Liefeld.
Well, I just wanted to have the whole Joe Casey run, and then I was like, well, fuck it, it's only a short box. Why not, right? Hey, everybody, we got YouTube comic book superstar Comics with Bueller in the house.
What's up, Bueller? We haven't met yet formally, but it's nice to hear you in our comment section.
He knows who y'all are, because on the chat that me and him did last week, he knows who you two are. So that's cool.
All right, awesome.
You have me at a disadvantage, so.
Yes.
Hey, God Tank's in the house too. Hell yeah. We're talking about X-Men tonight, y'all. We just did a rundown of what we thought about the current state of X-Men books. Seems like we're all pretty cool. So now let's forecast into the future. And as we forecast into the future, give us your X-centric questions right now for our Extreme X, which was Brooks's idea.
I should have known.
Brooks named it.
It sounds like something he would do.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like something I would come up with at all.
Not at all. Not at once. No.
You don't have the imagination for that.
You know, we've actually done 2 X-Men podcasts. One of them was the Rockin Robbie. You were both on that one. It was the extremely extravagant Xmas extravaganza. You remember that?
Yes.
From ages ago.
Something like that. Was years ago.
Yeah.
That's still on the YouTube channel, I believe. It was a Christmas special, but we thought we were being clever. Or I thought I was being clever by tying an X-Men podcast in with an Xmas podcast. Yeah, it's an extremely
That was
an
smart.
extremely extravagant Xmas. I don't remember. It was something like that.
At least you weren't holding the camera and like moving it around the whole time.
Oh, like the early days of
Our first
PCP.
video. Yeah, good times. Yeah, I'm glad that was
Hey,
not set up.
I watched a video and they were like, if you want to get into YouTube, don't worry about getting to a certain moment with equipment and then you're ready to go. Just start.
Just
So
do
there you
it.
go. So there you go.
Mm.
Give us your eccentric questions right now. We're about to forecast into the future of the X-Men. What do you think is going to happen? And are you excited? But first, we got a very important question from God Tank. Brooks, why did you cut your mane?
Yeah, man.
It was too hot. The time I was like, I just gotten so fed up with how hot it was. I was just like, yeah. I was like, fuck it. I got it cut.
Makes sense.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's probably like the only haircut I'll get for like 3 or 4 years, most likely. So
Yeah.
it'll be back. It'll be back. It's just coming back in. It's coming back in.
Yep, and the color will start changing this summer.
Yeah, it'll go from it'll go to red to yellow to back to brown.
Wow. You have color hair. Yeah, my hair has never changed color.
Bueller says, is there any word on digital still coming out? I have not heard any official word on this. Dark Horse has said they are not going to release digital if the print versions are not going to come out. No word from anybody else. Archie, actually, there's word from them. They're going to release their comics digitally next week. The 3 they probably have coming out. And then from that point forward, they said no more. So I think that's the direction that the industry is going to go in. However, we haven't heard too much from Marvel or DC about this. So
yeah.
So I'm sure they're scrambling. And you would think that Diamond would have given them like a warning that this was coming. But maybe they didn't. Maybe they took them by surprise. Now, the other thing is DC's printer, the printing company that prints DC Comics in Canada is shut down right now. It's shut down on Wednesday. So DC is apparently, what I've heard is that they're kind of struggling around trying to find a new printer. Marvel's kind of toying with the idea of shipping directly to the comic shops that are open. But that's only like probably 60 to 70% of comic shops that are still open. So.
Wow. That's a shame. But I mean, it's necessary.
Yeah, I think it's necessary. In our state, and we're not going to get too into this too much, but in our state today, they just finally announced that they're canceling schools for the rest of the year.
Oh, smart move. Finally.
Yeah, but Ivy's not doing anything about like non-essential and anything like that. But we've gone to curbside only, which has been probably was something. Maybe we did it a few days too late, but I don't know. You don't want to. It's hurting. I'm about to get into it, and I don't want to get into it.
Breathe.
These are crazy times. That's all we're gonna say.
Yep.
Crazy times. Brooks, where do you think this is all going? What do you think are some key elements that people don't need to be forgetting about as the story progresses? And are you excited for the big line-wide X crossover 10 of Swords?
Yeah, I do believe so. And I think there's not. I don't think you can overlook anything, with this story, because there's a lot of small pieces moving, in this story. A lot of things, that if you overlook it, like you can get caught off guard. And I think that's kind of the point. Is like some things are kind of like, especially with X-Men story jumping from one thing to the next. It's like you kind of forget like what happened in that last issue, because it's totally unrelated. And I think eventually it's all going to come around. It's all going to be relevant and important to the end game. So,
absolutely.
So I think the best thing is like maybe reread through it like on a pretty regular basis before the big finale comes out. Maybe like give it a reread right before the next before 10 of Swords comes out.
Yeah, because there's a lot of little threads put in there, and I think Cable is starting to lean into it and all that kind of lean into it, and I'm cool. A lot of people are against the idea that it's going to be a 15-part crossover that's going to cross over through every X title. But I'm like, y'all, this is old hat for X books.
Yeah,
Fatal Attractions,
that's what they are.
Executioner Song.
Yeah.
Come on.
Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah, that's what it did. That's how it
But
worked.
it is. Sorry.
And Age of Apocalypse is one of those things where like you can read it in the reading order, but it doesn't matter. They actually all stand on their own.
Mm-hmm. They do.
As long as you read Alpha and Omega first and last,
Yep.
which I think should be obvious, right? But
I never read Gambit in the externals because Gambit.
it's actually not too bad. It's got Jubilee in it.
But I've got all the other I've read all the other titles.
Oh, that one's not too bad. Because
yeah,
Fabian Nicieza wrote that one.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were such a Gambit hater.
I don't like Gambit, man. Gambit is always in a form of distress in all of my action figure collections. he's always in trouble.
I almost put a Gambit behind me tonight. I did, but
I'm glad that movie with Channing Tatum didn't go through because it was gonna be trash.
Do you remember Gambit in the X-Men Origins movie?
Yeah. Oh God. Was that Taylor Kitsch?
Yeah.
Yeah. That he was what John Carter.
Yes.
So he was in so many failed things.
That John Carter movie was still pretty decent, man.
I still didn't watch it. I went to the theater. I worked at Monaco Pictures when it came out, and I could have watched it for free. And I was like, and I went to the opening night on the Thursday, and I walked in, and I was like, I don't want to watch this. Yeah, right. I walked out like drank or something. I don't know what I did later, but I was just like, I'd rather do that.
Jelani, what do you think about the future of the X books? What's important? I for instance, I think the Phalanx stuff is super important. And everything, every little new bit of information that Hickman is dropping is so supremely important. And the giant size X-Men, we didn't talk about those, but the giant size X-Men, those are important.
They are very important. The linchpin of the entire House of X, Powers of 10, Moira McTaggart. It's Moira McTaggart. It's Mystique. Yes. And what it brings to the table, what it is, that betrayal, everything about it, everything. And they haven't shown Moira. Moira is
we haven't seen her since the end of Hawkspox, have we?
Nope, have not seen her. They haven't even tried to bring her in. And I'm like, oh, this is coming. This is gonna be bad because it's gonna happen. Because Mystique's gonna burn it all down. They already explained in X-Men that she's coming.
She's going to get Sabretooth back. She's going to start a new. She's going to start a new Brotherhood.
All of it.
They're going to bring Destiny back.
Yep.
They're going to lose one of the 5.
Yeah, I think Mystique is going to kill one of the 5 after
one of the 5
is revived.
Yeah. Right.
Because they're way too loose right now with the Resurrection Protocol.
Yeah.
So they can let the writers can do and kill. And since they have Resurrection Protocol, how many X-Men have just died all of a sudden? All these X-Men have made it through all this time, and now they just all die back to back to back, over and over and over and over again, right? You're right though. That's a great idea about Mystique doing it. They're gonna bring back Destiny, and
something's gonna happen to where hopefully they don't kill Moira where this all resets. That's all I'm scared. I've been scared of this for a while because I don't want.
It will all reset though. It will. I guarantee it because they said if she makes the right decision, she'll have the 11th life.
Yeah, that's Destiny. That was Destiny telling her.
Yeah, it's already set up.
It's coming.
But the thing is, the right decision is going to look like the wrong decision.
It'll look terrible. I can't wait though. I mean, the second I read it, I was like, yes.
Hickman wrote into the X-Men the idea that he can kind of retcon it away at the end of his run.
Right.
So they can really do almost whatever. Moira can make the right decision. Right, and have an 11th life,
right?
Or because this is the 10th.
This is the 10th life.
Yeah, right. As far as we know,
that timeline. Oh, that was perfect. Oh man,
yeah, it's good stuff.
All of it.
Good stuff. I gotta take a piss, y'all. Interact with the chat for a little bit. Y'all ask Jelani and Brooks some questions. This is your chance.
Now you get to know us. Wow. He left us alone, Brooks. What do we do now?
Let's destroy everything.
That sounds fair. I'm not able to put the things up on the board like Robbie was doing just a second ago, but I will read some things. The Zen Soundwave, by the way, yeah, that is a cool name, dude. You hit the what's going to be Sebastian Shaw's endgame and how will Kate's resurrection issue will be resolved. Like we were saying before, I think Well, actually, let me ask Brooks. What do you think about what would happen? I know we've already discussed it, but it's a good question.
Yeah, well, my theory was that Kate isn't dead, and that Emma Frost is setting Sebastian Shaw up to take a fall for, for her murder, basically.
All right, that sounds
But
fair.
I could be wrong, but that's just what I think is going to happen, or what
That
is
makes
happening.
sense. Yeah, and I think this pretty much the same thing. I don't know why Sebastian Shaw would kill Kate to begin with.
Well, he wanted the spot. He wanted the Red Queen.
He wanted that spot, but at the same time, I mean, they could find a way to resurrect Kate, and then it's just like, and they find out it was him, and they're immortal. They're basically immortal, and you're trying to deal with, Sebastian Shaw has to live with these people unless they like put him in the ground or anything. But that was a good question. I really liked. I mean, I can't wait because Marauders is still my favorite title. One of my favorite titles because
one of the things that made me think that is, Kitty Pryde has a lot of history with a lot of X-Men. Like she's very close with Storm and Wolverine and Rachel Gray and like all these characters. Like if Sebastian Shaw killed Kitty Pryde, like, do you think that mutant law would stop any of those characters from taking revenge on Shaw?
Not at all.
I don't think so. Especially with
kill
Wolverine.
him and not bring him back.
Wolverine would just be like, fine, go ahead and throw me in there with Sabretooth. I don't give a shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got a question. What do y'all think's going on with Wolverine and Cyclops?
Yeah. I really think that polyamory thing is really going strong with that group. So I think, and once again, it's a cult.
Yeah,
so,
right? You said you hadn't read Cable yet, right?
No, I haven't read Cable yet.
Cable is dating Armor and Pixie.
Yeah.
They're all dating together. What's one of their rules? Make more mutants. They're having
they're having orgies, man. Orgies, man.
Krakoan orgies.
Yeah, they're having a party.
There's like a scene in every night where Vulcan and two other girls are like, waking up from being drunk on the couch. It was in a Powers of 10 or House of X. Or no, it was an issue of X-Men, I think.
It was an issue of X-Men.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're just it's a free for all right now on Krakoa. I mean, I wouldn't mind to hit one of them parties because man, it's for real. And so, the rules stand. Make more mutants. So they're gonna make them. Hopefully that happens.
And all right, y'all. Next subject. Surprise is X-Men related. And this is a little bit of show and tell, but not too much. But what do y'all think of this? Let's talk about the X-Men animated series. All of us are near the same age here. The three of us. The three amigos. I don't even remember. I don't remember the thing. How did it go?
It's something like I remember the hips on the hands and the the pelvic.
We all the three. Amigos. Are you doing the Macarena, Jelani? What the hell?
That was the Macarena. Well, this is the Macarena.
I can die happy now. I got Jelani on a live stream on YouTube doing the Macarena. God damn it.
It's too much work. Yeah.
Brooks. Well, we're all around the same. We all watched this growing up in middle school, early high school. We watched this shit, right?
Yeah.
Right? Brooks, tell us your recollections. Why do you love it so much? What was it, 10:30 on Fox?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this was the cartoon is what got me into reading the comics. Because I remember my best friend at the time, he was a comic collector, and he got me into watching X-Men, and then that in turn got me into trying to pick up the comics, and he actually sold me some of his comics, like the Executioner song. Like I bought that whole run from him when he was selling off some of his comic collection, and that's how I got started in both X-Men and comics. Overall, was from watching the X-Men cartoon.
Hell yeah! What about you, Jelani?
It was good.
My recollections of the X-Men animated series,
Yeah.
Yeah, the comic and the cartoon show kind of went hand in hand for me. I mean, I've been reading them for a while now. In 1991, I was introduced to the X-Men. I had a school counselor who worked at the comic shop. It was an old comic book store in 5 Points in our town.
Comic shop.
Yep, the
Hell
comic
yeah.
shop.
And go there all the time, man.
Yep, I went there first, and Tattooed Lady. But my school counselor, she was of Arab descent. She owned that store. She and her family owned that store. And the first time I ever went to her office for like some random thing in middle school, she gave me my first X-Men. Well, she gave me my first X-Men ever anything, and it was an X-Men calendar. And it was the X-Men calendar with Cyclops on the front with his I-beam. And it had all the X-Men. I forgot it's like with their alternate outfits on. It was the original 5. And it showed, it was month by month of each character. And I loved it so much because I loved the artwork. I loved the way they were. I loved the story of the X-Men. She actually explained the story of the X-Men to me. And I was like, wow. And it was my first really introduction, first of all, in the comics. And the first thing I ever liked, which was X-Men. X-Men has always been my favorite comic book. And Spider-Man would be a close second. But X-Men has always ruled because I always wanted to be in that school. I always wanted to be a mutant in some form or fashion. I didn't care what power I had, as long as I got to have like school around, Storm and Rogue. I'm all about it. So it just turned into like a fascination with me. And I love X-Men. The cartoon show itself. That cartoon show is probably the best representation of the comic book in that time period. Yeah. That's Jim Lee's X-Men, and Jim Lee and Chris Claremont, of course. That was a good artwork run. That I only bought comic books for the art because I love the art of that. And later I got into the story and understood what was going on, but the art from Jim Lee just changed it, and the way he designed those characters is iconic. And that cartoon show, not only was that cartoon show great, it made an influence on me for years to come. Like when it came out on Disney Plus, I watched them all. I watched everything, even the bad seasons.
Yeah, like towards the end.
Towards the end. Oh man, they were terrible. But that whole run, because it kind of followed the books, and it kind of gave you an idea of each character, and it made me want to watch it every week, which it worked out pretty well. I think I turned out to an all right human being because I watched that and Batman, the animated series. There are a lot of things in the 90s that I really enjoy.
Eek the Cat.
Spider-Man, Eek the Cat. Yeah.
Bobby's World.
Bobby's World.
Tasmania.
Come to Tasmania.
The Fox Kids, man.
Yeah. Good stuff, man.
Well, Jelani pretty much just said it all.
Oh, I didn't talk too much.
Well, thank you very much, God Tank. That is a sweet setup, I think.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
I like Doom. The Doom poster.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Mm-hmm. It's from the new book, which is shit, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Yeah, the X-Men animated series is amazing. That the theme song.
Yeah, man.
Man, just as soon as it would start,
yeah.
And then it spawned this whole toy line, right? Which is
chased them all. Chased them all as a kid. God.
Still am, my friend.
Getting them.
Still am.
Marvel
I love
Legends
that.
all day for me. But
there have been other X-Men cartoons. There was X-Men Evolution. Not the biggest fan of that one. Wolverine of the X-Men is really
good.
Yeah, it's good.
Is that
one of my favorite? It has one of my favorite Gambits in it, actually.
Yeah,
because Gambit's not an X-Men. He's actually a thief. He's not an X-Men. Yeah. He's just a mutant who's a thief.
Yeah, that's how he started. And then they gave him that doofy costume. But then he was like, "But it's actually the blue and yellow. But it's actually better than his costume because what the hell is that?"
Wow, that's Chris Claremont's idea.
I'm just going to say this, man. I'm going to say this. Jim Lee cannot design an X-Men costume. He cannot design superhero costumes, but he did a great job with Cyclops.
Yeah,
That right there, that's dope. That's the best Cyclops costume.
Mhm.
But not really.
It's
I
his-
really I like the hood. I like the
Yeah,
blue and
like
the yellow hood.
Yeah.
And his X Factor costume with the X was okay. His new costume's okay.
I like the Phoenix one, though, or the one where they were the Phoenix 5, where he had the visor.
Yeah.
That visor that kind of looked like a visor, and then I
Where
liked
he looked like Cyclops meets
right?
is like Cyclops and Phoenix and Nightwing all merged into one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I like the X that he had on his face.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah, the X
Cyclops
face
was
thing
right.
looks cool. It doesn't seem to make sense.
No, it doesn't, because his eyes are here, but the X's are
Whatever. I guess there's some kind of like
but it
device
still
that
like shows his eyes to shoot out.
Cyclops has one of those crazy ass origins for his powers, because someone was like, so like what, like he absorbs solar radiation, right, Robbie? And he like charges it up and he absorbs information energy and he shoots it. I was like, no, actually his eyes are a portal to this crazy dimension of unlimited power, and his eyes are always doing that.
Mhm.
Right? So how can he shut his eyes? Like, why did they need ruby quartz? Like, just make something out of human flesh, because apparently a thin layer of human flesh stops it too, right?
Right. Or Jean
As
Grey.
long as it's his flesh, I guess.
Yeah, maybe that's part of it. Maybe if he had like some tragedy happen, he lost his eyelids and he had an eyelid transplant, which they do often. They probably wouldn't work, right? Just keep blowing eyelids off.
Yeah.
Why are my eyelids gone?
So there was Wolverine, the X-Men, X-Men Evolution, and then X-Men, and that's all the main series, right?
There's Pride of the X-Men. He did. Lewis has actually mentioned that one.
Yeah, I was about to bring that up because look what I got, y'all.
Oh, son!
This is a Marvel graphic novel of screenshots from Pride of the X-Men as a comic book.
That is it. Oh,
this is the one that came out. This was the pilot they did before they did the Night of the Sentinels pilot.
It's the one that the arcade game was based on.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the one the arcade game's based on.
X-Men, Welcome to Die.
That's my favorite Cyclops costume right there, y'all.
Yep, that's it.
I love that.
That's costume. The one I know him from.
It's the late 70s one, yeah. Yep. Early 80s. Yeah, look how terrible that looks. It's just like screen grabs.
Yeah.
And they're really not even good. It just looks like they just like took a fucking Polaroid of the whatever. But it was fun. And it was so cool. I've never even seen this. Because I love the X-Men Adventures comic book that was based on the animated series. I love those. But I was so happy to get this. And I love Pride of the X-Men. And you're right. It's an Australian Wolverine.
Yeah, it is.
I know Jelani's seen this. Brooks, you've seen this, right?
I haven't seen it now, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, Pride of the X-Men is it's okay.
They released it on VHS.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. I used to own that.
It's almost the same thing as Night of the Sentinels, but it's not Sentinels, it's the Brotherhood, right? And it's not Jubilee, it's Kitty Pryde.
It's Kitty Pryde. And Kitty Pryde was, that was back in the 80s where Kitty Pryde was introduced to the X-Men. She was there. She was your bird's eye view of what the X-Men are. It introduces them. So yeah, they wanted to have her in there because she was their Jubilee.
Yeah.
Who's their new? We don't have a new like young person. That's
because like Wolverine always had like a young person that would attach to him, right?
Yeah. So I mean, Pride of the X-Men is awesome. But that's all the real X-Men cartoons that I can remember.
Yeah. Here's a good question.
Yeah.
Who's first to get pregnant on Krakoa?
Any of the New Mutants. Any of them. Any of them kids. Any of them kids, they crazy. I love every one of the New Mutants.
Well, Beak has already got a head start.
Beak's got a whole bunch of kids already.
Yeah.
From one time. Thanks, Grant Morrison.
What about Armor and Pride? I mean, Cable gonna have a baby, right? He's shacking around with like 2 women.
Why not? But, hey, I told you, make more mutants, man.
It brings up a good point because make more mutants is a big part of their creed in this cult. It's gonna happen. You're gonna have mutant babies now. And now that will add a whole new dimension of needing to protect Krakoa.
Right. It's linchpin. I'm sorry. It's still hanging on Moira. I mean, this is a great society and all. I'm all about it. I wish I was in it. That would be cool.
You think
But I
Jean will
know
get pregnant and they'll have to
she might get pregnant.
have a Moiri Povich moment where they have to figure out the father's Logan or Cyclops?
Or it's both.
It turns out, it comes out, it's black. It was Bishop.
Yeah, it was Bishop the whole time.
In the Age of X-Men, didn't Bishop and Jean have the thing?
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
so. Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, they did. Yep. Oh, Jeannie's getting around.
Good
That's
time.
not bad.
What's your favorite X-Men movie, Jelani?
Mine?
Yeah, live action film.
It's a tie now between Days of Future Past and X2. I say Days of Future Past because it fixes 3, gets rid of Origins. It has Wolverine in it, and the best I've ever seen Wolverine.
Yeah.
It sets up in Sabanur, but then we get Apocalypse, and it's like, oh god.
And they get the perfect actor to play Apocalypse.
Yeah. Oh, and they don't
waste it.
A terrible outfit. Just make him CG. It's okay.
Yeah.
So what you did with Thanos? Make him CG anyway. And then X2, which is the origin of Wolverine. I still think it holds up. I'm fine with it. I like the death of Jean Grey, how she goes out. I like Stryker. I mean, Stryker to me is like probably the linchpin villain of the whole series, other than Magneto.
Yeah,
Stryker pretty much. What's his name? Oh gosh,
Brian Cox.
Brian Cox. Oh, he's a winner.
Wait, is it Brian Cox or is that the physicist?
Brian Cox.
Okay,
Brian Cox from Super Troopers.
Yeah,
and, Long Kiss Goodnight. He's
and Manhunter. Manhunter.
He is. Yeah, he's Hannibal Lecter. Yeah. So
hey, everybody, we got Dylan in the house. Dylan, you son of a bitch. Dylan, you son of a bitch.
I'm in.
Dylan, thank you for being here, friend of the show. Dylan, I'm looking forward to tomorrow night. Me and Dylan or a few others are gonna be gathering to talk about our favorite comic books of March, the final month of comics. No.
Thanks, Corona.
Lewis likes Logan. Zen
Okay.
Soundwave likes Logan in First Class. Brooks, what's your favorite X-Men film?
Days of Future Past.
Why is that?
I think it's, when I watch a movie, it's like how much enjoyment I get is just how much fun I have watching it. And I think Days of Future Past was the most fun. It felt like the most X-Men movie to me. Really.
Yeah.
I'm going to go First Class.
You always love First Class.
Yeah, and it sucks. It doesn't have Wolverine. It doesn't have super recognizable X-Men, but the X-Men to me is the story of Xavier and Magneto. And Fassbender and McAvoy, holy cow.
Yeah, their dynamic is clean.
And it's the best in that movie to me.
Yeah.
I like Days of Future Past. I love X2 as well.
Yeah.
And Logan. Logan is phenomenal.
Logan, they should have just ended. They should have just ended the X-Men right there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
And it's sad how the X-Men went out in that movie, but man, that is an ending.
So
That is how you do it.
What's your least favorite X-Men film? Me, I'll go first. Anyone with the Phoenix in it. Because they tried to do that story twice and failed terribly twice. Same dude too. Damn Simon Kurzbergen, whatever.
Simon Kinberg wrote the screenplay for X Garbage 3. And then he turned around. They were like, "You did such a good job on X3. Let's go ahead and give you a directorial debut with Dark Phoenix." That sounds fair. It's not even an X-Men movie. It's just Dark Phoenix because they didn't want to put X-Men in it. I'm like, oh, slap yourselves. There's so much work involved with those two films. But yeah, I agree. I think it's X3 a little more. The only thing that saves
X3 a little bit more. You're right. 100%.
Is the soundtrack. That's it. I'm sorry.
For X3,
I love the music. I
hate the music in X3. It's so overwrought, man.
Dun, dun.
The music in X-Men and X2 is so subtle and nuanced.
Yeah,
and in X3, it's like John Williams on crack.
Yeah.
Brooke, what about you? What's your least favorite X-Men film?
I'd probably go with Origins Wolverine.
That's pretty. I agree. Yeah.
I think Apocalypse is better than that one.
Yeah, Apocalypse is hot garbage, but yeah, Origins is.
Apocalypse has some cool moments though.
Yeah.
I watched origins as a pirate, and when it first came out because it leaked, and I was like, I can't wait to see that.
The CG wasn't done yet, and all that kind of stuff.
Done, and then I was like, oh, this is bad. This story is terrible. But
dude, the CG in that movie, even finished, looks bad.
Yeah, and then you watch it again, and you're like, oh, you watch it on screen.
And we did the rewatch a couple years ago, right? Didn't we? All three of us?
Yeah, we did.
And we were talking about how like the claws, since they started just CGing them, like that mirror scene in particular, looks so bad.
Ting, ting. Oh,
yeah.
Oh man, I hate that movie.
Yeah, right.
It's hate my heart. It's not as bad as X3 though. X3 ruins everything.
You know, we were talking about that X-Men Pride of the X-Men, and we were laughing about the Australian Wolverine. Yeah. How ironic that Wolverine would then be played by an Australian actor who came out of nowhere.
Right. And crushed it.
And got the part because it was originally given to Doug Ray Scott.
Yep.
But he was committed to do Mission Impossible 2. And thank God for that. That's the best thing Tom Cruise has ever done for us in Scientology. Doug Ray Scott would have been terrible in that role. Doug Ray Scott would have been so bad in that movie.
Yeah. He's trash now. That poor guy.
Yeah, and now he's like, Mission Impossible is the reason why I wasn't Wolverine. I could have been the big star. No, I don't think you have what Hugh Jackman had, and nobody knew who this guy was.
Charisma.
And when we first saw him, we were like, he's too tall. He's not hairy enough. He doesn't look like him. And the hair looks dumb as hell. But there's no way you can do that hair in a movie and make it look cool. You notice like it got less and less comic booky as it progressed.
Right.
Eventually, he just got a shaved head.
Point. He had points though. Well, Logan, he was yeah.
Well, in the first one, they go out of their way to make it look
like Wolverine,
like the comic book where it's like feathered out like that, and like I don't know. Why does Wolverine's haircut look like his mask? Like, can anybody ever tell me that? There was an issue of you remember the humor magazine? And it was Wolverine, and somebody said that, and I thought this was so funny when I was a kid. They were like, your hair is exactly the same pattern as your mask. And he's like, you think that's crazy? And he removes his boots, and his leg hair is the same thing. It has those things on it. I just thought that was funny. It's just so funny to me.
Yeah, man. But Jackman, it's going to be hard to replace him. I mean, I'm sure they'll find a good way to replace.
Who should replace him? Who do you think? Obviously, I think Tom Hardy would do a great job. Tom Hardy
would do a great job, but he's Venom.
He's like, why are we doing this? He's playing slapstick Jerry Lewis Venom right now. Yeah. Hopefully Venom 2 will be better. At least they took that doofy ass wig off of Woody Harrelson. He doesn't have that doofy wig anymore. That's cool. But they were talking about Henry Cavill. I don't know if
tall.
So was Hugh Jackman. Hugh Jackman's 6 foot something, dude.
But we need a short, angry Wolverine.
No.
I want a short, angry Wolverine.
Then you get Danny DeVito.
Okay, then I want young Danny DeVito. Then I want the young Danny DeVito to be Wolverine right now.
Do you know who could have played him back in the day?
Who?
Harvey Keitel.
Yep, he'd do it.
He could have played him back in the day. Yep.
You are right.
And I remember seeing a Wizard casting call. I used to love casting call, and they did. It was Robert De Niro, but this was Cape Fear Robert De Niro.
Yeah, he could pull it off.
That Cape Fear Robert De Niro would. Yeah. Right. That was Wolverine. Yeah, they almost cast Bob Hoskins as Wolverine.
He could in
the early 90s.
Instead of that Super Mario Brothers movie, he could have done that. Man,
I don't know how he would have handled Wolverine though, man.
He was a little angry guy, man. He was great.
I think he could have played Puck.
Rabbit.
He could have played Puck.
He's a good Puck too.
He could have been a good Puck.
Yeah.
Rest his soul.
Bob Hoskins was great. Scott Eastwood, I kept hearing names.
Yeah, that around.
He could probably pull it off. He's a decent height. There might be a few Wolverines in my head that I think
you're going to have to go unknown.
Or you could that's what I was going to say. You do an unknown character, just like Hugh Jackman. But this time you actually get a guy who embodies that character, not doing an impression of Hugh Jackman. Just do a Wolverine, a good Wolverine.
Yeah, give me a good actor.
before we get it.
And it's easy to do a fan casting and look at like who's played characters that are similar to Wolverine. But like, if you really think about it, Hugh Jackman's not a Wolverine. Like if you saw all of his other stuff, you wouldn't go, that guy should play Wolverine. He's a
Right.
song and dance guy.
Right.
He smiles way too much. He's tall. He's pretty, but he did a hell of a job.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
He nailed it.
Now, who knows? You know, they could cast someone that would seem like such a not obvious choice that could kill it, you know?
Right.
What's one X-Men character that you would like that has never gotten the movie treatment that you want to have the movie treatment? I'm going Forge.
Forge would be nice. Yeah, he needed to be in the first X-Men movie. He should have been making like all their planes and all that stuff.
Forge is one of my favorites, man.
Yeah, Forge would be good. Nightcrawler. No, they did Nightcrawler.
Yeah, Alan Cumming.
Alan Cumming.
And then of course
the
the
other
new
kid.
one.
Yeah. Give me a minute.
What about you, Brooks? You got one while Jelani's thinking?
I was thinking Blink, but then I remembered she was in Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
Yep. She was.
They've done a lot of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kate Pride.
What about Maggot? Maggot would be an interesting
Maggot.
one for
Maggot.
Maggot would be
Or
nice.
Marrow.
Marrow.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Marrow. I can
Marrow
pull
would be
bones.
good.
Well, they did have the guy that pulled bones out of his arm and threw him at Wolverine.
That's close to
In
Marrow, isn't it?
Trash
Yeah.
3.
Is Marrow actually one of the random? God, I hate that damn stupid ass Morlock gang in X3, man.
Callisto.
They never did her,
No,
did they?
we need a Callisto. We need a
Callisto
in
and
books back.
Storm fight. And
Yeah.
if you're gonna when you bring them
Gold
into the,
balls.
when you bring them into the MCU, gold balls, yeah, hell yeah, that's a great one.
That one. Yeah, man.
They're eggs.
Absolutely.
They're eggs, man. What
Yep.
if Gold Balls is the one that Mystique's going to kill?
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
Because that's the one we probably have the biggest attachment to.
Right.
Well, maybe Hope.
Yeah, Hope would be my would be
Hope
what I
would
would
probably be a good murder.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
she's a worthless character. She was so important, and then all of a
then
sudden, no, nothing. She's not important.
Nope. She was just the first mutant born since no more mutants.
Yeah.
That's all her MacGuffin
She
was.
supposed to be the host of the Phoenix, and then it got split.
Into what the cuckoos.
What's the issue? What's the X-Men book where they just recently introduced the idea of Namor coming back? What was that? No, there was something where they go to Magneto to like.
Is he still beheaded? Is he still dead?
Oh, dude, you're so far fucking behind.
I'm
You're
sorry.
embarrassing. You're embarrassing.
Womp womp.
So at the House of X, Xavier like approached him about joining.
Oh, that's right.
Krakoa.
Joining Krakoa, and he was like,
Yeah,
nope.
And he's like, "Do I look like somebody who needs
That's right.
a refuge?"
He did during the Utopia days.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, Namor right now is back to his more villainous roots, Jelani.
Okay. Oh, cool.
Or him and
I
Wakanda
like it.
still at odds.
Yeah, because he's going up against the Avengers. You read the Avengers,
Yeah.
right, Brooks?
Yeah.
So yeah, he's got his whole Lords of the the Lords of the Sea, or whatever the hell.
Yeah, that's right.
He's
He's been
super
gathering
evil.
up,
Okay.
The villain. Yeah, I'd almost forgotten about that.
Yeah, so that would that'd be cool to see where it goes. Here's a good one. I'd like to see a better Sabretooth in films. I'll tell you this. I'd like to see Liev Schreiber play
Yeah.
Sabretooth in a good movie.
Yep.
Yeah, I
Because
think
he was
I wish that
Yeah.
whole scene in Origins.
I
That
was
was the
so
best part of
close
the
to
movie.
being,
The beginning of the movie is the best part of that movie when they're like fighting together as brothers and stuff. That could have been the whole movie. Why are
Yeah.
you showing me the whole movie?
What's
Yeah,
up,
Liev
CMA
Schreiber.
Thunder? We're talking about X-Men. If you have any X-related questions, throw them in. What's this? Technically, Madrix and Siren had the first mutant before Hope. Oh, okay. The Peter David stuff, probably.
Okay.
You got to ask Mike about that
I
one.
didn't know that. Okay.
Mike's a big Matrix fan.
Yeah.
Madrox.
They need to do a good multiple man movie or a good multiple man in general.
Yeah.
X3 was trash again.
So, Mike the Voice Matthews, big shout out to him. Multiple Man is one of his favorite X-Men characters. Some would say that's a B or C list character for sure, right?
He's an X Factor.
he's
What is-
actually very powerful though when you think
He is
about it.
powerful. Yeah.
What is in your opinion, who is an incredibly underutilized and undervalued and underappreciated and underrated X character? Brooks, let's start with you.
Underappreciated. Strong guy.
Hmm.
'Cause he's just well, I mean, he's just he is what he is, you know. He's just a muscle dummy.
He's a big, strong guy.
Yeah. He's a strong guy.
Strong guy.
Can't wait for that figure right there, man. Right?
Yeah, man. That's pretty clean.
Look at that.
Double strong guys.
Really? I don't have one at all. I will get one.
A strong guy.
You better get one now.
Yeah, you've got to have a strong guy, man. That's the figure.
Here's another good one.
Oh, Banshee.
Oh, Banshee.
Yeah.
Is that the one we opened way back when?
It is.
He's the whistly one.
Yeah. Love it. Love it. I think Forge
Strife.
is one. Strife. Did you say Strife?
Yeah.
Strife's a good character. I'm gonna go Maggot. I want more Maggot. I'm serious as hell. I love me some Maggot. Oh, that's Herminio down there. It said Strife.
I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
New York, homie. You staying safe up there? Sorry, Jelani, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, you're good. Please go ahead.
He lives in New York, and that's rough. Like half the U.S.
Man,
yeah, I bet.
Stay safe, man. Oh gosh. People are like flies in New York. Be careful.
Liev Schreiber, such an amazing actor. I think he did a great job.
He's a great actor. Yeah. He's Sabretooth.
And I was like, why are they casting him? Cotton from Scream?
Yeah. And he's huge. That dude is tall as crap. And he had the right look.
What's that show he was on? Ray Donovan or something like that?
Yeah, they canceled it, and he said that there'll be more of them coming soon or something like that. The last tweet he had. I never watched it.
Love.
Forge deserves it though. Forge needs his own incarnation, and not just the one he had in Days of Future Past on the cartoon show.
Yeah, he was cool in that show because he was all the Bishop stuff, you know.
Yeah, he's just old.
They had him appear like as the leader of X Factor in an episode too. I remember.
Yes.
Yeah,
and he was the leader of X Factor for a while. Him and Mystique. Yep. Remember that?
That's right.
And Hickman's one of his favorite X characters is Forge, and you totally can feel that because when he gets to write Forge, he loves it. I love Forge, and he's able to make these weapons with Krakoan technology. They're biological, and like Domino has one now, and she's like, "Yeah, this is my weapon. I love this."
Think about your weapon, and it will create. Yeah, you can create your weapon organically.
Oh, look at that!
All you gotta do is keep it watered.
There's Marvel editorial at work right there. Peter David had to write the kid out of the story because Marvel was bringing in hope, so that's why the baby went into Madrix when he first held him to get him out of the story.
Oh, okay.
Least appreciated X-Men. We got Warpath, Cannonball.
Oh, speaking of that,
Bishop. I love me some fucking Bishop.
Yeah, he was in Days of Future Past too, though.
I like him even with the mullet, but I prefer him without it. When he finally got that fade in the late 90s, I like that. When he found one with Deathbird, remember that? He was locked in space.
Yeah, Deathbird kidnapped him.
Why did he have a
mullet? Trying to make him think the X-Men were dead.
Because that's what's going to happen in the future, man.
We all get mullets again. We might if we stay in here long enough.
Dude, I'm serious, man. There are people right now getting mullets.
Growing mullets.
Yeah, we know people. You know Kenny.
Yeah, I do know Kenny.
He's got a crazy ass mullet. Like he went to the barbershop, said, "I want a mullet."
I want business in the front, party in the back.
Hell yeah, he did. What's your underrated, underappreciated X-Men character, Jelani?
Mine? Morph!
Oh, Morph.
They never give you Morph, man. He's basically Mystique, but he's got his moments in Age of Apocalypse. I really like the dynamic he had between him and Blink. That whole group. The X-Men group that he was a part of. He was the best part. And I like everything about Blink. I don't know what it is about the Age of Apocalypse Blink. Now, mind you, I don't know anything about the comic Blink, surprisingly. If there were,
she was in like a couple of issues of the Phalanx Covenant.
Yeah, but I never saw Morph outside of that. But I all I know him from originally was Age of Apocalypse,
and he was created for the animated series.
Yeah, and he was created for the animated series, and he was just
Morph proper was introduced to the 616 by Bendis in his Uncanny X-Men run. One of those new characters, remember Brooks, was Morph. Yeah.
Morph. But
Blink died in the Phalanx Covenant and then brought her back in Age of Apocalypse. That's why that's the only one you see.
That's right. She's Clarice Ferguson. Yeah.
Jelani, here's a good question. What's scarier about the future? The fact that mutants get the M branded on their faces, or the fact that mullets are back in style? Now, here's the thing. Here's a controversial opinion. I don't think the M means mutant on Bishop. I think it means mullet.
I'd rather have the M than the mullet, though, because, chicks dick scars, man.
I don't know, man. He's got that flowing ass mullet too, man. He's got that Lionel Richie going.
It is.
Do you remember when he straightened it out? The Extreme X-Men run, he straightened it out.
Yes.
Flowing.
Yeah.
I'll have to take a break here for a second, fellas. I gotta let the dog out.
Yeah, do
I'll
it.
be right back.
Who let the dog out?
Get out. That means Brooks has to go out.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
But yeah, man.
He didn't turn off his mic though. Did you hear that? Come on.
Yeah, it's forever.
Go on, get.
We came in before Brooks was the first one here. I was very impressed.
I know. Brooks was here before I was.
Really?
He was like 40 minutes late last time.
Yeah. He made a point to be here early. I like that. And I'm the late one. Ha ha!
Yep. You are. Yep, you are. Yep.
I'll get over it. Oh, yeah. Are we going to do show and tell soon? Because I got some show and tell.
We're about to get a show and tell.
Yeah. Everyone does, man. We
And
dude.
And he's still working.
Well done.
Essential job. Apparently,
we all have them, man.
Not essential, but whatever.
Yeah.
We are still open in a curbside mail order only way. So we're not open to the public, but we are doing curbside service and mail order.
Yep. And I still got to pick up that Black Widow figure. And I've got to pick up all of my books, all my X titles. Because I got to read that Hellions.
Thank you, Southern Comic Geek. I hate that I didn't get to see you. Was I there?
Man.
What day did you come in on? It's been hectic at the shop, by the way. It's been so hectic these last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
True it's scary, but someone's got to do it right. You're right, buddy. Thank you so much.
Thank you for everything you do, man. Appreciate that.
These are crazy times, Jelani.
Yeah.
You're doing good. Your parents are doing well.
They're doing really well. I haven't seen them in days. On purpose.
Yeah, good.
On purpose.
Hey, there he is.
Did you miss me?
Maybe. He was in there on Thursday with Big Will. I think I saw him come in. I was all over the place on Thursday. Thursday is one of our days where we get shipments in and it gets stressful. And that's why I always tell people, if you're going to come in the shop and you know me on YouTube, let me know first thing.
So you can,
so that I can actually interact with you. Because, I'm usually just trying to like distance, you know what I'm saying? Because I got a lot going on. But
he's a busy man. I can attest to that.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I saw you were busy. Yeah. Don't ever be afraid to approach me unless if I'm like, yeah, maybe not. But for the most part, I'm fine. It's been a stressful week though.
I've only seen you angry one other time, and it's never at the deep.
You worked with me at Movie Stop.
Yeah.
So. I've seen him angry plenty of times.
Yeah.
I remember when he had to work with David Gillespie.
Oh gosh. I haven't heard from David in a while.
How many times did I fire David?
It was several.
Every week. Sometimes multiple times
I'm stuck.
Do you remember when I kicked George out of the shop?
Yeah.
Yes.
He wouldn't give me my free pack of cigarettes.
George.
Yeah.
Yep. It happens. All right, y'all. Let's do it. Our X-Men themed show and tell. Who's going first? Let's go, Jelani. Not you. Brooks, you go first.
All right. Well, I've got old classic Sentinel here.
Hey, I got that too, buddy.
Yeah. The thing is, like, mine looks a little different from yours. Like, from what I've seen, like, the face is, like, a little darker, I think.
Is yours the Marvel Universe figure?
No,
this is the Toy Biz one, man.
Original one. Yes, the Toy Biz.
Okay. Yeah, I remember that one.
Surrender, mutant.
And you kick him in the knee.
Yep. He is falling apart.
All over.
I love that figure, man.
Yeah.
We also got the old Build-A-Figure Sentinel 2 from the old Marvel line.
Yeah, man. I got one myself.
He's holding Chung-Li.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the Chun-Li from those 2-packs they made of the
X-Men
X-Men
versus
Street
yeah,
Fighter. Yeah.
Yeah.
She has that look of shock on her face, like,
I love those figures, man.
Yeah, man. I used to have the Ryu from that.
Remember the Cyclops? I had the jacket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
And
My
last but not
now
least,
wears the jacket.
I've got old Magneto 2 here.
The spark still work?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to
Let's
take his
see.
cape off. Stupid cape. There we go. Nope. Nah, I don't think the spark works anymore.
I just opened one of those a couple weeks ago, and I had to let it go a few times before the spark started.
Yeah.
It's
The liver doesn't feel like it's really.
Yeah, that flints.
But, no. I think I can get it.
More.
Sometimes it catches, and sometimes it doesn't, it seems.
Seeing that Sentinel reminded me of Morph's death all over again. I'll avenge you, my friend. I swear it.
Soldier boy here left him behind. For all we know, Morphin Beast could still be alive.
And Beast was in jail that whole season. I didn't even remember that.
Oh, Chris, I'm sorry that I missed you, buddy. That'd have been super cool to meet one of my Teen Dog Shades bros.
Oh.
Yeah, they should. They could make Apocalypse the big bad behind the scenes like Thanos was for Avengers. Yeah, they should.
They should. But they
Good
screwed
idea.
him up. They screwed him up in Apocalypse. I don't know if they'll bring him back as a villain. There's so much that was done.
Well, they tried Dark Phoenix again, so why not Apocalypse?
Because that was 20th Century Fox. Simon Kinberg. Oh, Simon Kinberg. Oh, never mind. This is my hatred.
Mergen.
Mergen.
Is that what you got, Brooks?
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah, that's good, man.
Yeah,
That's
man. Good setups. Yeah, I like
good.
it.
What about you, Jelani? What'd you bring?
Okay, I got 3 things, I think. One is my Wolverine. I always like to show off this Wolverine because this one has a casting cave head. It is basically, look at the detail of that. This is a regular, this is the Marvel Legends Juggernaut Wave Wolverine, which is crazy hard to find now. But on top of it, I have this casting cave head. And this bad boy, I've never paid so much for a head before in my life, but I did, and it was totally worth it.
You never paid more for head? Is that what you just said?
Yeah, pay for head.
$5 has been his limit until then, Brooks.
Yep. And I got the metal claws with him as well. He's in my main 90s X-Men display as the unmasked Logan. I like this figure a lot. He's the pose factor, of course, is fantastic. And I did a review of these figures with you, Robbie. When we did the Juggernaut wave. Or did we do a different wave? No, it was the Warlock wave. I take that back. It was not the figure.
Right. It was the Old Man Logan because you had the claws and the
Old Man Logan. Yeah, that's right. Well, it's the same kind of claws. So my friend makes these, and I do not have a link in the description below, but I'll remember his name later and give a shout out later. But this is my favorite Wolverine figure.
Army, everybody. Jelani will let you know what he's talking about.
Yep, exactly. Next, the next thing I have or reach is also another custom. It is my 90s X-Men Beast. They already made this Beast figure, but this is with an Anthony's Customs head. It comes with the glasses, and he looks exactly like he did in the cartoon show. And I was like, I wanted it so bad. I was like,
put him up more close, like more in the middle.
I'm trying to do it in the. There we go.
Go over, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it to where it angles.
Look at that head. That head looks just like
dude.
the X-Men animated series.
Yeah, he's so like studious and whatnot. And the book that's in his hand is the Sunnydale High School yearbook.
Should have been Animal
I don't
Farm.
have any other books. I was like,
It should have been Animal Farm. Wasn't he reading that?
It should have been Animal Farm. Yeah.
When the jailer makes that crack, reading back your own kind.
Yeah.
Then Magneto busts in.
Yeah. The only other book I have is the Necronomicon. So I'd rather not hold the Necronomicon. I think everyone should be away from that one. And then finally, this is one I got from your store, and I haven't opened it yet. And I was thinking about opening it here, but we're just going to show it. I'm just going to show it.
Do it.
This, I don't know if we
finally
can get
picked
this.
that up.
I finally got the X-Men Legends set. Now this is a childhood favorite of mine. I got this at Toys R Us. Well, actually, I was kind of in college, but I got this set. It comes with Wolverine, ugly head sculpt Wolverine. It comes with the Gambit, the first Gambit ever, or with the leather jacket, and it comes with angry looking Magneto, and also that ugly face Rogue. That Rogue is hideous. But it also comes with that Beast. The whole reason I got it was that Beast in that lab coat, because I'm going to open it soon and put it on the 90s head. And it also comes with the glasses. But this is a Toys R Us exclusive.
Hell yeah.
I am a fan of all of these figures in some form or fashion. I like that it's unmasked head Wolverine, but his body is all weird. It's the original body with just an unsculpted head. And I got a new Gambit, so I'm going to put that jacket on my other Gambit for the other ones. Basically, this is just cannon fodder. And plus, I don't have a Rogue for my my main X-Men set, because I have two X-Men displays. One is for my 90s X-Men, which I should have shown a picture of, because there's no way I'm going to move my camera for this. But there's that set, and then there's a main X-Men set with all of my X-Men Marvel Legends. And I'm going to put this ugly Rogue with that set.
Share some pictures in the PCP Army, man.
I shall. I have tons of figures. I have large displays, and as I move around, I'm going to make even larger displays. I am a toy hoarder, and I'm a fan of it.
Yes.
So it will happen. But those are my three big things. I love them.
Nice.
My
So
show and tells.
before I get to my X-Men themed ones, this is my newest haul from the comic shop. I'm going to show this off. There's my Werewolf by Night Complete Collection Volume 3.
Nice.
Finally picked that one up. I told you I was going to say something about Werewolf by Night. I got the complete set of Batman Returns cards.
Nice.
Complete set.
Those.
I've got the complete. Mike was like, "Do you want these?" And I was like, "Well, I have the complete set of the first one, so sure." I got the complete set of the Death and Return of Superman cards. There's a Joe Jusko Steel.
I
Yeah,
had some
full
of
set
those.
right there. Yeah, y'all know I love my trading cards. And you both already bought yours I think you both already bought this, but I finally got this today.
We can finally either open them or show them off.
Yeah, I'm not going to open it tonight, but I am going to open it. The glow-in-the-dark He-Man, y'all.
Yes, it is the best.
I'm so
Get
excited.
A high-powered light. Get a high-power LED light and hold it on it, and
something,
it will
something like
forever.
this.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's my glow charge light.
We gotta get those open one day. Mine's still hanging on
I'm
my
gonna
wall.
open some.
All right.
Yeah, Ghost Poo, exactly. Because of the bandwidth that's being used, YouTube is really kind of pushing down, it seems, some online streams. So we haven't gotten not enough. We haven't gotten a lot of people that have been getting notifications for the streams and whatnot. But most nights around this time, like around 7 or 8 Central, we're going to be doing a live stream. So tomorrow night I'll be on Dylan's Comics channel. So I'm going to open up some of my Toy Biz ones. Shatterstar. So
He comes as a good looking legend. He was in that Warlock set that we did a video on.
All right.
Let's open them up. X-Force.
Let's do it. I wanted to do this with y'all
one
here.
that I missed that I wish I had gotten now.
Are you going from the top?
Who cares? I got a Maverick card. How sweet is that?
Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
They're gonna make a bigger figure soon. Yeah.
Remember they did one in Toy Biz. You remember that?
Yeah, I remember that one.
All right, this is his first costume. The Shatterstar 2 figure was better.
Yeah, he had the better
The one with
swords.
the red.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one better, but let's get his swords in.
Shatterstar.
Shatterstar, I thought, was the dumbest character.
He's
But
like,
I don't
He was
think
a very life-filled character, you know.
Yeah.
Well, they all were, right?
Yeah, that stupid wrestling helmet thing.
Yeah.
The ponytail.
He's gay, right?
He is, yeah. Him and
he's
Richter
gay.
were lovers for a while.
That's right. Okay.
Yeah, not a bad figure, but yeah, it's still Shatterstar. He's got that. He's like part of the Kiss fan club. He's part of the Kiss army.
Yeah.
All right. He's got a little bit of that residue.
He fought in the Mojo Wars and whatnot.
I got this one to open up. I'm kind of nervous because here's my Warpath. But if you look, then that arm looked detached.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's on there.
Yep.
Oh man. Oh,
maybe I shouldn't open this.
Yeah, keep that the way it is.
I'm gonna keep this the way it is just because I
Shake
think that
though. Shake it.
that.
Yeah.
It's in there though.
moving.
It's part of the blister though.
That sucks.
Fuck it.
Yeah. Open him. Let his arm fall
Am I
out.
supposed to go from the bottom, Jelani?
God dang it. Go from the bottom. You're killing
Hey,
me. Tony
hey,
would
look.
have a fit.
Hey, look, Brooks, it's the strong guy.
Strong guy.
The only card that matters.
Drawn by Jim Lee.
Okay, so the arm is still attached. It's not in there.
Why is the arm? It's so weird.
Yeah, and it's in there. It's just there's this weird gap. How
That doesn't
fucking
make sense.
God damn it.
Is that part
Does
of
he
his
like?
action
Does he like?
No, because
squeeze
his action
arms
feature is
together?
the other arm, see?
Oh wow, that's weak. Yeah, you'll need another Warpath.
What is going on with that?
Try to bend his arm anyway.
Well, they don't bend. It will do this. It's just
Wow.
it's not flush against his. But the other one's not too much either. I don't know. Maybe that is part of his action feature. I don't know. That's weird. And it's really
Does there have any weapons?
Yeah, he comes with a like a little gun.
Oh,
Gun for
Do
Warpath?
you remember when Warpath was all about guns?
Yeah, his whole life was about them.
Now they did a second Warpath that he's big and beefy. That Warpath figure is better. Well,
And
if we opened up a Shatterstar and Warpath, can you guess what's next?
Cable.
Yeah, but Cable. Cable.
Oh boy.
I
Leave
hated
on
this
the
figure when I was a
X-Force.
kid because of that arm. He's like this. You see that?
Yeah,
fuck
it's
it,
pretty
we're gonna
bad.
That part, did he have like a quick draw action or something?
Yeah. Or he's got a clobber action. Whatever the hell that means.
He's
It's
clobbering.
clobbering time. Remember that was Cable's catchphrase.
That's yeah. Oh, Rob Liefeld, you're the
Rob
best.
Liefeld. All right, let's do it. Every time I do a live stream and I open up all these figures, when I come in the next morning and I see all this is just all laying around.
Pieces around. Like, why?
So he's got the Liefeld gun, obviously, and that's cool. His action feature, though, is this. It's a judo chop. That's why his hands like that. But I hated this figure because who holds their arm? Like, you know what he looks like? He looks like Ben Stiller in Tropic Thunder when he's firing the gun and he's just like, "Ugh." So he's got it. What the fuck is this? Judo chop. Anyway, that's a very Liefeld Cable. But I'm glad I have it out of package now. So I got more X-Force figures. Gideon, GW Bridge, Deadpool. We're going to save those. In fact, I don't think I'm opening the Deadpool.
Yeah, that's worth money now.
But this was an X-Men podcast, not necessarily an X-Force one, right?
Yeah, but they're kind of X-Men, sort of. Some were mutants.
Should I open a Toy Biz X-Men figure?
It's up to you, man.
How about father and son?
Oh,
First of all,
really?
were
This
you
Cyclops
as excited as I was when this figure came out? Because the other Cyclops was not the cartoon Cyclops.
trash? Yeah,
It was a
X
hood
Factor.
Cyclops.
Yeah, he was the hood. Yeah, that was X Factor.
So,
This Cyclops 2.
Yep. Let's do it.
Open him.
Let's do it.
No, please open him from the top now, since that's your
Well, I'm
life.
doing it from the bottom now. I don't see the difference it makes, but whatever. Got a Professor X card.
Nice. That's the second wave.
Yeah, I already have those, but
Yeah.
It's weird because those cards are like based on Xavier's files. So Xavier made a file on himself apparently.
Yes.
yeah, he did. Of course he did. It's like Batman. You don't think Batman has protocols against himself. Dude, I love this figure. I love how all the all the early Cyclops figures have the light up eyes. You want to see if it still works?
Yeah.
Yeah, do it.
Don't you have to pull a cord or something in the back?
Dude, this motherfucking thing, seriously, I turned in my face.
The button.
It came on one time, and then it flashed on, and then it went away. It's got to charge.
Yeah.
Hold on. Do you see that? Did you see it?
Yeah, sort of.
Hold on, let's try this again. It's going to flash for just a
You're
second.
going to blow up your camera, man.
Watch it. Yeah.
You're going to...
His optic blast destroys the camera.
Yeah.
Do you see that?
Okay, I see it.
Just come up for like it's like a TV remote. What the hell?
Like very tiny. I got to look at it.
Maybe I should open it up and see if I can replace the battery, though. When I opened up a Storm figure, the last Storm figure I opened up didn't do it. The last Storm figure was broken when I opened it up, but the Jean Grey figure, I have a Jean Grey that still works.
Yeah.
Wow.
With a light up hair.
Yeah, still works.
Yeah.
The Phoenix figure.
Yeah, mine does too.
Phoenix. Yeah.
Still fucking works.
I still
but
got that.
This one just does this. It's like pew pew pew. What the fuck?
Pew pew pew.
I thought this was weird when I was a kid, but I like accessories. So he has this backpack, remember?
Yeah. God, I think.
And it's got these scopes and shit that come out. Like that goes over his shit right there. And then he's got this. What is this supposed to be? A radar? Optic blast fire.
Units. Yeah.
It did it again. It just comes on and goes right off. Jesus.
That's so weird.
Whatever. Cool figure. I'm glad I have it.
Yeah.
We'll put him there.
Yes.
Optic blast fire. And yeah, that's what I got. Show and tell. Successful.
Yay. One day I will open those.
Comments real quick. That was back when Shatterstar was cool. Was it?
Yeah.
Though? Was it? He was Longshot's son, but Longshot's father, his origin got really wonky. Yeah.
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 I thought it was Longshot's son. Yeah.
Those 90s cards were awesome.
Mm-hmm. Jim Lee. Can't beat him.
Drowning in nostalgia. That's our lives.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. They
Well,
do
that's the extreme. This is what came with Warpath. A gun. What is this? Did that come from like a leftover Micronaut or something? Like what the?
Didn't even have a hole to
That's
put.
the gun that Warpath used to use all the time.
Yeah, that's the one he got by Cable. Right?
Is it?
No, I don't care. I don't know. I don't think
he's got the quick draw. You see that? But this arm's just dislocated.
He's on the Warpath. Yeah.
I was like, man, this arm's gonna like fall off as soon as I get it. You know, I gotta look because it's connected to this. Look at that.
That's so weird. Maybe the other one. I mean, do you have like images of it somewhere? Maybe it's supposed to look like that.
And he's got these holes on his. Doesn't he? Isn't he supposed to put something? Oh, the gun goes on that too. Yeah.
I have no clue.
He's War Machine all of a sudden. He Warpath to War Machine.
Yeah.
Whatever. Whoa. Who fucking cares? Anyway, that's the Extreme. I appreciate all of you for being here tonight, watching us talk about X-Men and joining us in the conversation. Brooks, Jelani, thank you so much for joining us here. We've gone over 2 hours now. So we're going to wrap it up. Let's see. We're going to wrap it up by what is your favorite X-Men run and or storyline ever of all time? Jelani?
Age of Apocalypse. And I say that with now I would have gone with New X-Men, Grant Morrison's run too. They're kind of a close tie, but it's something about Age of Apocalypse. It was the first real foray into actually getting weekly X-Men books where I was just getting them. And I was like, I'll get all of these titles. I'll get all of this. And that was the story for me. It was just the biggest what if story ever created. It made Magneto. It made me like Magneto as a leader. It made me like Morph. It made me love Blink. All those characters. I loved all. I love how it changed the X-Men and how the X-Men like evolved because of it. it was great. Sunfire looked amazing. The fact we had Holocaust.
Oh yeah.
It's just, yeah, man. Just the Sugar Man.
Dark
All
Beast.
these characters. Dark Beast. You get so many great
Cyclops with one eye.
Yeah.
And Factor X is my favorite.
Man.
Factor X is my favorite Age of Apocalypse book.
Really?
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah. I like anything with Blink in it. If Blink was in it.
Was that astonishing?
That was astonishing. And I love that character. She was the standout.
That was Joe Madureira, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Joey Mads. Yeah.
Joe Mads.
Yeah, that's right.
Traitor to the industry.
That's right. Yeah, he does what he does, man.
Co-creator of Maggot. One of my most beloved X-Men characters.
Yeah, my close second is Grant Morrison's new X-Men. But
that's a great one. Brooks, what's your favorite X-Men run and or storyline?
It varies depending on the time, but I think the Executioner song is probably the one that like holds a special place for me, just because it was like the first like big X-Men story that I ever read, and it introduced me not just to the X-Men but to the other, like, you know, the extended X family, like X Factor and X Force, and like it kind of opened up the larger X world to me, like when I was a kid. And it's a really good story. It's like there's a lot of drama in it, and it really opened up the character of Cable too, because Cable was not a character I was particularly interested in when I first started, when I was getting into X-Men, but when like the Executioner song actually like made him interesting to me, I think, because he was more than just, you know, soldier guy from the future who likes guns and shit, you know.
Yeah.
They gave him more. They
gave him a karate chop.
Yeah. And he said it's clobbering time, and then before he punched Stripe out.
Plus, Apocalypse was doing some badass stuff in that.
Yeah, Apocalypse gets his ass kicked in that story too.
Yeah.
Awesome. And he joins the X-Men in the end.
Yeah.
Apocalypse fights with the X-Men before all of this House of X nonsense.
This X cult.
Yeah.
My favorite is Grant Morrison's new X-Men. This is my favorite. I love it. Quentin Quire.
Yeah.
Phantom X. Great new characters.
Yeah.
Zorn. I love all that shit. I love it. I know it's a lot of people don't necessarily like it sometimes nowadays, but I think it felt fresh. It felt new. It felt classic.
It was new.
It had its own distinctive voice, and it's what Hickman's doing. It's kind of akin to what I think Morrison did. Outside of that, I love Fatal Attractions and Age of Apocalypse. And of course, the original Claremont stuff with Cockrum and Byrne. Yeah. I mean, you can't really beat that early stuff leading up through the Phoenix Saga, you know? Really solid stuff. So there are great X-Men books out there. Y'all have shared some of y'all's favorites, and hell yeah. So we really appreciate you being here tonight to celebrate the X-Men with us, talk about the X-Men past, present, and future, and I had a lot of fun with you too. We'll be streaming again soon because we get to watch Street Fighter, y'all.
Yeah! We finally got to watch Street Fighter. Finally.
So damned excited.
Oh!
I wish I had some of those Street Fighter G.I. Joe figures they used to do. You remember those?
Yeah, I have Chun-Li still.
Those were the first Street Fighter figures they did.
Yeah.
Yeah. I want the Blanca. That's what
Blanca was clean.
The Chun-Li's a dumb, doofy looking figure because she had the leg kick.
The weird leg kick. Yeah. But I like
Ryu's cool. It just looks like a repurposed G.I. Joe figure, though. They all look like that.
They all are.
But that X-Men versus Street Fighter line was cool. I had the whole first wave. I don't remember who was paired with who, but it was Cyclops, Wolverine, Sabretooth, and Gambit.
Magneto. Yeah.
No, Magneto. You're right. It was Magneto because he had the removable helmet, didn't he?
Yeah. He did have the removable helmet.
And then it was
those figures.
Akuma, Ken, Ryu, and M. Bison. And then they did a second wave. That's the one that had Gambit and Apocalypse, Dhalsim, Chun-Li. I can't remember who else.
One of them had Mega Man in it.
That was the
Marvel they did the Capcom versus Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel versus Capcom.
I have that Mega Man somewhere. He was paired with War Machine.
Yes, he was.
Yeah,
I remember that now. Hell yeah.
I had all them figures, man. Yeah.
Maybe I can find a Street Fighter Blanca G.I. Joe before we do the Street Fighter movie review.
That'd be nice.
Jelani, I know you can get a copy of it to watch.
Yeah.
I own a copy of it. Brooks though needs a copy, right?
Yeah, I need to borrow that.
We'll probably just set up so that you can come and grab my copy some point over the weekend. Maybe we'll do that. And I don't know. Maybe sometime next week, maybe Monday or Thursday, we should do the Street Fighter review.
Okay. That's
Y'all
cool.
cool with that?
I'm good with it.
Monday and or Thursday, we'll talk more about it.
I need to go pick up my Xbox, man. Get my curbside service.
They'll be open tomorrow. We're only open 10 to 6 right now.
Okay.
So I know you're probably working tomorrow.
I'll work tomorrow then.
Are you off Saturday? I'll be there Saturday. We'll hook you up. I'll make sure you get Hellions and cable and all that shit.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, we'll set you up. Anyway, you out there, y'all be safe. Support your local comic shops in these trying times, but also just take care of yourselves. Do your social distancing, stay home if you can. If you're essential, do the best job you can, but protect yourself, stay safe. It just seems like it's getting crazier every day. We're going to wake up tomorrow morning and we're going to be like, well, what's going on today?
T-Rexes.
These are unprecedented times.
Mutants.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's like the man who effed up time all of a sudden up in here. Anyway, we really do appreciate it. I'm Rockin Robbie Billups. This is
Jelani Bullard.
And
Brooks.
Don't you feel like we're the Brady Bunch?
Yeah. We're all looking up.
Anyway.
I keep looking the wrong way.
I know, me too. I do this all the time when we live stream, and then we're like looking in the wrong way. Anyway, thank you all so much for joining us. We're going to stop bullshit, and we're out of here. Y'all have a good one. Take care of yourselves. Be safe.